work them. There you go, can punish them.
We should add them to Ferran Torres.
Ah! The man make ready.
Arsenal will score.
You make ready. Make ready.
Come to them.
Is
Arsenal will come to them.
It'll be simple.
It be simple. It's just Partey.
Arsenal will come to them. But you say what be the agenda? Who's that? Manchester Partey seni manye mi be pale o. Manchester seni manye Partey mi be pale o. Manchester Partey seni manye mi be pale o. Second part, I'll bring the dodo for you today.
I know say something special they can have.
Okay. This game.
Me, I see the team.
Are we live?
Yes, we are live.
Hey! All right, everybody, welcome to Malam Go Podcast. It's a holiday today in Ghana. I know you are watching us, across the globe. So in Ghana, it's a holiday, but we still have to meet.
Of course.
The guys have to meet. Atu is on his way. Daniel is here.
Fantastic.
Coach is here. Fentu is with the wife. Enjoying
he needs to go and be
family time.
A family man.
Yeah, so we are here. And of course, you're also here. So join us on social media. Guys, let's repost it. Am I live? Am I clear? Am I loud?
Yeah, fantastic.
Me, I've not posted it. Did you send it? Oh, you put it on the platform.
So
you didn't send it.
No,
it's on YouTube. Okay, drop them.
I said, no, but you for send, give me.
So guys, we are live.
So we are live.
We are live on the Malam Go podcast. We are going to be reviewing the Champions League. Crazy games came up in midweek. Both ties are still alive going into the second league, which means there is plenty to play for. And we'll be having a wonderful discussion about them.
They take some or they put for the platform.
I put for the page top.
Take food for the page top. And of course, we also look ahead to what is to come in the second leg in the Champions League semi-finals. Then we'll also talk about what is to come this weekend. Some big games. Already some league titles have been won. But yeah, there's still some games to talk about because there's top 5 race in the Premier League and other leagues as well are yet to determine their champion, especially in Italy. How does that affect Inter Milan? So you're welcome. Tell your friends that we are here. Share the link and it is live. Gentlemen, welcome.
Welcome, bro.
What a week of great football, man. What a week of great football.
Champions League classics.
Yeah, man. It started on Tuesday, obviously. Champions League are played on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, where Arsenal played against Paris Saint-Germain. It was in London at the Emirates Stadium, or UEFA will call it Arsenal Stadium. Have you paid attention that UEFA never gives names or write the names of the stadium as they are being called by their sponsors? Yeah, because UEFA don't admit your sponsors.
That's why.
Right? So UEFA will market
Arsenal Stadium.
Every other stadium you can think about that has a name, a sponsor name attached to it. UEFA will not. They'll write the club's name. So let's say Allianz Arena is the Bayern Munich Stadium because of Allianz.
Yeah. So they will call it what? The Bayern Munich Stadium.
Yeah. Okay. Emirates Stadium is UEFA will call it Arsenal
the Arsenal Stadium.
The Arsenal Stadium.
So I think as for Old Trafford, it's Old Trafford, obviously.
Yeah. Even Man City.
They take away the Etihad. They take out the Manchester City Stadium. Yeah, so UEFA doesn't admit your sponsor. They won't do marketing for them.
They should be there
on their platform. But it's strategic. Because their sponsors are very diverse.
Exactly.
Because UEFA's partners in UK, air partners in UK is Qatar.
Yeah.
So imagine UEFA now going to hype Emirates. And UEFA does a lot of direct rivals. So I don't know, but they do it. That's what they do anyway. So yeah, that's just by way of paying attention to some of these things. But that's what UEFA does. Shall we delve straight into the game or give? Okay, let's give our viewers some 5 minutes.
Some shout outs.
So then, if you can pick some up, if you are there.
Fantastic. Let me see.
Yeah, let's pick some up and give them shout outs there.
Saint Ashi. He said active. I love that. Kayla the Great. Let's go. We go. LFP says we live. Promise Junior says PSG are qualifying. Oh boy.
Promise Junior give prediction for final. He said PSG Inter final.
Oh
boy. Ora Kylie says no. It's wait, someone says
any party yo, no me share yo. Any Partey yo, Jameno mi she yo. Bono chui mi che, tamo Partey le bao wote any wote. Today the boys live.
All right, so Promise Genius in Nigeria. It says Danny K and Coach sending love from Nigeria.
Charlie with the love for that. Alata brothers.
Charlie, to be honest, when the pod started, we got a lot more traction on episode 1 and 2 for my Nigerian brothers because of the AFCON.
Exactly.
And at the time, Ghana were out, Nigeria were good,
and they were trolling us. Charlie, big time. Everyone teased me.
And we credit to the team. We did an immense analysis on the team. And Nigerians are like, we're giving too much support to Ghana out. So we actually started this pod with them, and I mean, we've always laughed. This guy says, Promise Junior says that, no, Mustafa Bakasi says, before you start, please give Coach his flowers regarding Partey's absence.
Oh, today the program is for him. Look, I brought the Ododopo because of the man. And look, it is clear.
No Partey.
But that the case of foolish boy. We were on another platform on Monday nights.
Of course.
And we're having a conversation on.
And I was watching
the slot. So it was a debate. It was a debate, and some people don't know this, but sometimes we plan the show.
Of course.
And that is why you enjoyed it. It's not necessarily because everything I said I believe, but I'm debating for one side, so I have to make
Of course, you stick to your point.
The same for Danny K. Danny K would defend his position. Doesn't mean that he believes everything, but it's a debate.
Do you know the icing on the cake? Yeah. There was a text that described him as a liar.
As a liar. I floored it.
I was my sister. I was like, oh my goodness, this text. Can't you read in between the lines what is happening?
And when I went for so I took my turn first for the debate. As soon as I was done, then the kid said, "Wakasa be
You set your own questions. They answer your own.
He's planning on how to rebut all I said. He's buying himself time.
I didn't time.
He's buying himself time.
Guy. I didn't time.
The guy said, "Wakasa be brave." Sit your head.
As the boys they laugh. Then I think.
So Eric Asari, who I'm sure followed that program, says that Wakasa be brave. This one is from Dosa Amatuchi. He said, "Good evening, guys. We are live from UAE, Rak Asna."
Oh my goodness.
We are global, guys. We are global.
That is fantastic. Fantastic, man.
Elom Koku says that Inter is winning the Champions League, and Yuji Mate says, "No more."
Obawo.
Sorry guys, it's today holiday. This one says, Koftan Babe says that, hey, Kof, we surprised you today. We didn't announce we're coming live. No. But that is why we love you guys, because even though we didn't announce, because notification bells are on.
That is you.
You guys are flooding us with so much, love, and we appreciate that. We don't take that for granted. As a forecast says that, I am the master. Give me the ball. Go forward. Give me the ball. Stay here. Give me the ball. Long ball to Saka. So this guy Eric Asari says, "I follow you guys everywhere. You guys are just my favorite, but you guys are all my favorites. But Danny K be my guy." Oh man. So okay. So this one says Arsenal is win the Champions League. That's from Kester Anane. Aaron Befi says, "I beg, make you people bring sweet Karim." Special request. We're gonna bring sweet Karim. Special request.
Karim man.
Sweet
Karim man.
Randall,
if he hard guy, man, there he make a laugh. I say, but this guy,
you was so cool like that.
Charlie.
Karim man. He more grow past him, but
Charlie,
something to go tell you, go think about that.
Whack me. See, Charlie.
Okay, so this one too is coming from Ronald Kekeli. He says that tell coach Chelsea are in Europe tonight. Coach, that's
I don't watch that game. What sort of game is that?
Aston Martin said, Odegaard was sunroof. Aston will get there. And this guy, you guys are too silent on our nights held game. All right, I'm sure you're a Man United fan or perhaps a Chelsea fan. We'll touch briefly on
we'll speak
the games that are coming tonight in Europa and the Conference League. This guy said, Don Capone. Ziggy says, good show. Keep it up. Watching you from Qatar. God damn it, bro. We global. So yeah, so tell your friends that we are live. We are live. So we're gonna be delving straight into, the games that we saw in midweek. It was absolutely captivating. Plenty of talking points. We couldn't wait to get here for the pod because there is so much to break down, so much to digest, and we'll delve straight into it. Gentlemen, let's start from Tuesday. I think it's just proper. We start from Tuesday, then we talk about Wednesday. So we'll review the two games. Then we'll look into the two games. We preview what is to come next weekend.
Exactly.
Anybody can go first, guys. It was breathtaking. Arsenal playing against Tuesday. Arsenal at home.
I'll teach you a song. So
right.
you have to listen.
I'm paying attention. Okay.
Keji miye fijin.
Is that the chorus? Teach me the chorus.
I'll teach you the chorus.
Do the solo.
Keji miye fijin. Tomo opole mafaye.
No. I don't have to teach a song.
No, you're saying I have to teach you the chorus. So go to the chorus.
Okay.
You go say. Keji mi ye fijin tamo opole mafae bahu wote ni wote bahu wote ni wote. That will come in again. Keji mi ye fijin tamo opole mafae bahu wote ni wote. Bahu wote ni wote. Okay. What it literally means that if I have wings like the bird, I will fly. So join me and let's fly. Then I'll come back and say,
let's fly.
No mi sheyo. If I say, Heni pate yo, then Jeme no mi sheyo. Jeme no mi sheyo. Pate yo, Jeme no mi sheyo. Oh, Heni pate yo, Jeme no mi sheyo. So anytime you hear me say any party yo, what that simply means that if I have wings like the bird, I'll fly. Join me and let's fly. Wherever there's party, there's joy. Wherever there's party, there's happiness. Then I'll say, Bono Trimiche. Those of us with clean heart. Come and let's join the party.
The party.
You understand the song?
Party.
Look, some of us, we knew that without him, it would be extremely difficult. Look, granting my heart, on Tuesday, you realize there was a stage where even the cameramen,
they went to him.
Jesus Christ. They
know.
You see, all these camera guys, they know football.
Charlie.
They eat football. They drink football. They understand football. I haven't observed a certain trend of the way PSG and the Arsenal game was going back and forth. The cameraman saw that there's somebody missing.
The guy is there.
Where can I locate him? So the camera started searching. Over 60,000 people at the Emirates.
Quick.
And then it just fell on the young man. Look, see, beside him is his beloved wife. Yes. And you could see the wife just squeezing the arms of the baby. Cool down, baby boy. Cool down, baby boy. If the West come to West, you will kuta and be happy.
Quick.
If the West come to West,
you will kuta and be happy.
And Mrs. Partey
quick
gave Partey some form of joy after the game because he was very sad.
He was very sad. That one confirmed.
And Partey confirmed. Fantastic. Don't worry. Next week Wednesday,
I'm coming.
Kejimi ye fijin tamo okpole mafae bawo wote ni wote. Kejimi ye fijin tamo okpole mafae bawo wote ni wote. Awo inke eni pate yo jeme no mi se yo. Eni pate yo jeme no mi se yo. Eni pate yo jeme no mi se yo. Inke eni party yo jemeno iseyo. Inke eni party yo jemeno iseyo. Awo inke eni party yo jemeno iseyo. Awo bonu twi che tamo okpole bafa bao wote.
Coach, let's dive into the game.
Look, you see, on Tuesday, Mikel Arteta, I think the absence of Partey gave him sleepless night. So, in trying to find a solution, he just didn't know exactly what to do. You remember, we gave options on this program. Would he withdraw Marino? Or he'll bring in Zinchenko? Or ask the left-footed boy, who we are told is not a natural left fullback, but he's a midfielder, put him in the middle, and how would he require Declan Rice to play? If I was the coach, the mentality would have been not to lose that game. Come what may, we will not lose that game. I think Arsenal would have been better off going to the Stade du Parc goalless.
Goalless, yeah.
Now, you can clearly see that if Partey was around, that early goal, they wouldn't have considered that goal. If you look at where the problem started leading to that goal, it was a clear indication that the one deployed in that role to hold, protect, is not a natural DM. In fact, when Dembele scored the goal that early, wherever I was watching the game, I told the guys, it's either this is the winning goal or it will get worse for us now. And then there was a friend, in fact, a very elderly man. He said, coach, it's too early. We can still come back. I said, no. In big games like this,
don't make such mistakes.
Normally, for you to recover from an early, we saw Barcelona did that yesterday, but we'll come to them. For you to recover from an early goal, normally is huge. And most often than none, semi-finals are not supposed to be explosive. Yeah. Because tactically, coaches look at it and say, come on, I'm one step away.
Yeah, keep it tight.
So me, I don't like watching semi-final games. Either in a major tournament or in the Champions League or even the normal
the risk
FA
elements
Cup.
Are not really
the risk, of course, everybody is so mean. We want to be very mean. Nobody's ready to give anything
So, yeah,
away.
spoke about the early goal. Did that in the long run affect Arsenal because the atmosphere sounded great before kickoff?
Yes, but
that early goal derailed.
Nobody expected that, even the supporters. Yeah. So it just took something out of the way from them. Yeah. So for them to get back into it, they needed a controller. They needed the master. They needed the boss. They needed somebody to get on the ball and calm the nerve of everybody down. Yeah. Because one thing that Arsenal couldn't afford to do, which they did on the day, was the fact that you are playing against a ball-playing team. What you couldn't afford to do is to do a lot of turnovers. Hand over the ball to them the moment they show up pressing you. Once you do that, they will suck the life out of you. That was where I said, look, if you don't respect Thomas Partey, then you actually don't understand football.
Charlie, Nasbrain is watching us live from Italia. Powerhouse is watching us from West London, guys.
Look,
God damn it.
So the moment they considered the first goal, they needed somebody to calm them down. And then for me, that was where I sort of disagree with Mikel Arteta. He should have just done this. Everybody breathe in.
I think there's a replay of Declan Rice who was saying,
yes, I mean, but you see, normally
it should come from the
manager.
It was the opposite instruction.
Yes.
Arteta turned to the crowd and was trying to get them.
Wait. At that moment,
shouldn't have been the case.
At that moment, it's not about the crowd.
You see, I understand him because, coach,
granting,
it completely went silent. It's not like waiting for the whistle to go like it's there go. Like they didn't be. It's like they were in shock.
So at that moment, the crowd are passive participant of the occasion. They are not active. At that moment, you don't focus on them. If you can get the adrenaline level of your players to drop, and then gradually, then the crowd will now, because what the crowd needed, the players needed to bring the crowd back.
Yeah.
Because they have received the shock of their lives. They didn't see that early goal coming. So the moment as the manager, you consider that early goal. If I was the one in charge, quickly, you call on the leaders in the team. Breathe in, let's go. Do that. Keep. Because they needed to build a certain level of confidence in the next 10 minutes. Then the crowd would have bought into whatever they were doing. Then the atmosphere completely changes, even beyond the way it was before the game started. Rather, by doing this, he wanted an instant reaction from the team. No, this is PSG we are talking about here. By far, if not Barcelona, the best ball-playing team in the Champions League. So what did Luis Enrique do? He also just told his boys that get hold of the run object and then pop them around. And anytime Arsenal won it, PSG just needed to show up in the press, and then they gave them back the ball. So that is not the way to motivate your team when you just receive something that you least expect. Calm them down and get them to play. Again, I didn't like the way he deployed the Spanish boy. Marino.
Oh no, there was Coach Wassan.
That
guy is a problem.
I really didn't like the way
you say, oh, me, I'll say, my Wassan.
You see,
hey, Marino, he's been box enjoy.
You see, he's been asked to do. He was asked to do too many things on the day. And Sicho, when he's a makeshift number 9, so you better define his role for him. Because Odegaard was struggling,
that one to come there,
and you are asking Mourinho to do the number 9 and drop and do the number 10 to bring Rice and or to get them to link with Rice. You are asking him to do too much.
But who was more advanced between Rice and Marino in the game?
They kept on
doing this.
I think was that a problem?
Rice was a bit deeper. He only went when the situation presented itself for him to go. Then he went. So you see the goal that he scored, which was disallowed.
Yeah.
The Mourinho goal. I was telling myself that, look, keep him there. Don't take him away from there. Keep him there. Because Arsenal needed somebody to engage. Look, the PSV back 3 or whatever, they are very comfortable on the ball.
No, but coach, you see, to be fair to Arteta, that would have been very difficult because it was Trossard, Martinelli who were shuffling between
the two of them. They were shuffling.
So if he shifted Marino,
you see, the two of them
very opening.
No, you see,
and Odegaard too.
Because Odegaard was not doing what he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
I think Trossard closer to Odegaard, sort of in that number 10 role to get him to get on the ball and then bring something out of Odegaard would have been brilliant. Because they needed somebody to get Saka to influence the game. Shockingly, Saka was used in chemistry. We say he was used sparingly. Arsenal never
was never the focus.
He was never the focus.
Like we saw in the game against Madrid, where
that was due to the absence of Thomas Partey.
Is that also credit to PSG in the way? I thought they deliberately shifted. I think they deliberately shifted. Like it's like they are defending against Arsenal and shifting Arsenal's team to one side.
No, but you see, that is where the technical ability of Thomas Partey. We saw Real Madrid doing everything to stop Arsenal from passing the ball to. Passing the ball to.
And to be fair, not many Arsenal players taking the risk.
Exactly.
The more difficult
but when Partey picks up the ball, in between the channels, he could pick the pass. You know, Partey is very good at disguising the pass. He's looking at the pass.
I was listening to some Europeans.
Rice man can be famous.
Some Europeans speak about the game and
he said,
someone said, yeah, Partey is a good coach, but not the best passer of the ball. Then I tuned off. I tuned off.
He said joke.
I tuned off because really he's the best passer of the ball in that team.
Joke.
The fact that he's deep means that can't really pick the final ball that leads to the goal most of the time. It's like saying Rodri is not a great passer of the ball because like Phil Foden is closer to goal and he assists more than Rodri. So Rodri doesn't pass better than Phil Foden. Like I just tuned off. I was like,
it's very disgusting. Yeah. Surely you just tuned off.
I just tuned off.
He doesn't know what he was talking about. But you see, PSG, they are a good team.
Oh yeah, granted.
Because look,
what went the trick for them, coach?
I think, you see, the fact that they could isolate their pacey wingers 1v1 against the Arsenal fullbacks. Because we saw against Real Madrid, Timber could come forward, Just to get back.
Charlie, Charlie, come.
Go ahead.
Right now, I don't know if the boys told them they lie or right now it be true.
They say
right
what?
now, Abrofon Kwa they say, Emmanuel says live from Iraq. Philip Do says live from Mitcham, London. Mr. Ahmed says live from Derby. Achori Aplo says live from Illinois. PSG will win the UCL. Yao Dap says watching from Youngstown, Ohio. This one too. Ralph says watching from Cornwall, Ontario. Numo Nimley, I love your shots. Charlie. Charlie. They should check like above Iraqis then since.
This podcast, we say it the way it is.
John Odatemio says
Is
that
what?
live from Tulaku. Sicho, mention it. About Tulaku people. Tulaku. Continue.
So you see, for PSG, they played to their strength, and credit must be given to Enrique. Look at the contrast between the two managers. Whilst Arteta was asking his players to force the issue, Luis Enrique was asking his players to get on the ball and dictate the tempo of the game. And that is the best way to control games. I do admit there are times where you don't need to get the ball to control the game. But once you are leading, the best way to control the game is to get on the ball and deprive your opponent of the ball. And that was exactly what they were. Look, truth be told, they should have blown Arsenal away. Truth be told, they should have taken at least minimum 2 goals back to the stadium.
Raya made a good save from the Desiree Doué.
Yes.
Ramos hit the post.
Yes.
Bakola couldn't keep his composure to find
exactly.
the bottle.
That one
Was it?
Yeah.
I think he was offside.
he was
The replay showed that he was offside.
I think the one who returned the pass to him was it? That was no, Ramos.
Ramos.
I think Ramos was offside. He came from an offside position.
When Ramos returned the pass,
He had just gone smooth.
Bakola just crossed the line.
You understand?
Saliba
So-
stepped in front.
The game, in my view, ended 1-0 because of the impact the Ghanaian will have on the second leg.
Yeah.
That is what I said, look, Arsenal are down. And in such situation, if I'm the coach, I don't want to coach the leading team. Because it is easier to motivate the one that is down. So I want to be in the shoes of Mikel Arteta. What he shouldn't do in that second leg is to take the risk from the word go.
He has to manage it.
Manage it.
There's no giddy in trying to win it. in
No,
the first minute.
there's no need to
It's
try to
90
win it.
minutes.
It's 90 minutes.
Away goal
I
doesn't
think
matter.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So they are down,
I agree.
but they are not out.
I agree.
So they shouldn't
Don't risk
concede.
too much.
Don't risk too much.
Yeah.
Keep to your game, keep your shape, and let's play.
Yeah,
it's just a
one
goal.
The game is very much alive. Like it's very much alive.
And we've seen PSG historically. They've struggled when it matters most like this.
Yeah.
What beckons? The final beckons. The trophy, that match that you come out of the tunnel and you have the trophy closer to you, or as you walk out of the tunnel, the trophy is there while you go into the pitch, is what is at stake here. But Martinelli needs to be a bit more clinical. You saw the ball that I
thought his first touch was poor, so he couldn't take the ball away from himself
Exactly.
to give him the opportunity to bet. And the
Scored that
second,
here against Courtois.
and the second chance was no. The Courtois one, the final touch before the effort was good.
Courtois
Was
one,
good.
He was coming
You see,
At an angle.
He
And
came
the
across
touch before
before
his-
the-
but
gave
this one,
him
the
the
first
ball.
time he didn't take the ball too far away
Far
from
away
him.
from him, so he was
and the
forced
angle
to
wasn't
draw
great.
the ball
So he was
from
forced to
his
take another touch, which was also too short.
shot.
So he couldn't get a Keller.
Keller.
But credit to Courtois still though.
Yeah, Donnarumma. He made the save.
But
That-
damn, the Trossard
Trossard
save.
Charlie.
That's about one of the best saves I've seen the whole
Yeah,
year. Like
I think the Trossard save, and you remember when they played Villa, that Rashford
that
save.
Rashford
Yeah.
save, the header.
yeah.
Not the header, the strike. See, Rashford had a
Oh, for me, it was a Tillemans header.
It's the man that was
Yeah,
The
yeah,
first
was
shot was
hanging.
hit, and he had
It
saved
saved
it on the
the
ground.
ground, and then
He was
Tillemans-
now recovering and then
And
straight.
then- yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think those two saves is what has kept PSG
Yeah.
where they are. But look, that's
And it was massive in the game at Anfield. I mean, at Parc des Princes, it was Alisson, but at Anfield it was Donnarumma.
Yes.
Yeah.
At Anfield it was Donnarumma.
Yeah.
And he's carried that forward. But look, it's about mentality here.
We'll talk about the second leg. Let's
it's
go
about,
to that one.
It's about mentality here. But look, over what we saw in that first leg, I think the better team won. I think
the better team on the day.
the better team on the day was PSG.
PSG.
So we want to see. I have spoken to the camp of the Ghanaian. I have pleaded that they give me the chance to talk to Thomas Partey, and I've been promised that I will be given the chance to talk to Thomas Partey.
Quick.
No more call but to a mental Partey, call but to a coach Nimline. I want to talk to you before that second leg on Wednesday.
Very important.
Look, the game is dependent on Partey. Show the world the Ghanaianness in you.
Quick.
Partey. Coach Nimi says, show the world the Ghanaianness.
The Ghanaianness.
Oh, no more.
Show the world.
No more. Masole mana hiwale. Masole mana hiwale. Masole mana hiwale. Masole wa. Masole mana hiwale. Keina hiwale njawo kudo. Keina hiwale njawo kudo. Masole mana hiwale.
Quick.
Danny,
Fantastic.
coach.
Yeah, hand over to him.
Danny, that's your perspective.
Arteta.
Oh no. Mikel Arteta.
Arteta.
No, Arteta bad boy.
What is it?
No. Two things. Make a blast time first, and I will give him first.
Why you won last time? What you do?
No, I want blast time because of something. You see, the best managers in the world, his boss, Pep Guardiola.
Opinion, yeah.
When you get to certain zones, you get to certain quarters, you don't take some risk.
What risk did he take in this game? I thought he played everybody was expecting.
You look at what is happening now. You don't look at what could be when it comes to selection of players. Arsenal without Partey at 60%. So I wasn't here last week, but I told friends that I was hoping that they give themselves a good enough result to go to Paris when he comes back.
Yeah.
Because without Partey, for me, they can't beat PSG. So who he selected on the day was going to be extremely important.
Charlie.
In 2025, Odegaard has been a for example, Crystal Palace level player.
Since his injury, he had like 3 good games and he's not been the same. He looks sluggish, he's looked tired.
Like it's painful watching him.
It's like confidence is not that great, you know.
And for Arteta, you see, that Real Madrid game, I was so confident. Like they didn't need him to have a good game for them to win
At all.
That's how I thought dominant I believed Arsenal would be. But in this game, especially without Partey, which coach has highlighted, you needed certain players to be on form, top form. Like you can't make a mistake. And for me, Odegaard, that selection was a serious problem.
Charlie can interrupt some more.
Quick.
CIE, how will you pronounce it?
See?
Here says the feeling is mad when streaming on television.
Oh, Charlie.
Feeling.
Coptown Babe says, I'm doing groceries, but Charlie, I'm still listening. I'm addicted.
Coptown Babe.
Arteta.
Oh, Charlie.
This one says, I just have to take some break from work to watch you guys from wherever it is. It's in Canada.
Yeah, more like.
It's in Canada. More like Charlie. Charlie. Keep the grind. Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Keep it coming. All right, Danny.
Charlie. So the Odegaard selection for me is serious problem.
But if Odegaard didn't play, who was gonna
start Wanyeri?
Where
Odegaard plays?
Okay. So
Why you be there?
now, I've seen people say it, but I'm saying Odegaard is a skipper. He's not playing great at the minute. It's a Champions League semi-final. The boy is still young, but his natural position is where Saka
is
plays, and he can display Saka. And I don't even think Saka will do a great job where Odegaard plays. Saka is even more experienced.
Yeah.
If he throws Iwaneri into that number 10 role, offensively he might offer something. But when he has to drop into some pockets of space, especially when it's central, does he have the capacity to do it? So maybe the manager is thinking about, throwing the young boy in, the risk with it and all of that.
First of all, Nwaneri, yes, it's true. His natural position is out wide.
Yeah.
But he's a much better player in the half spaces than Saka.
Yeah.
And in the second half, I'll get there. There are a couple of things I want to blast Arteta's for. The Odegaard thing is out of the way. I would have started Nwaneri, but I'll get to why I would have started Nwaneri. Without Partey, Arsenal can play their natural style.
Mm-hmm.
And without Partey, when it comes to possessing the ball, we saw it in the first game between PSG and Arsenal. There's a way you can beat this PSG team. Even Aston Villa, I will tell you there's a way, and Wednesday will show you. But without Partey, you can't outpossess them. So it means you need to adapt. Arteta made a mistake by trying or forcing Rice to be Partey. Arsenal were never going to have that composure, that ease from passing from the back progression as Partey will give them. The PSG press is a bit too strong. It's a bit too well drilled for Rice. Rice doesn't have that awareness. He's good, but he's not elite. You need an elite number 6, a Rodri, a Partey. If Jorginho was fit, this is the sort of game that he plays. But Rice can't do that job. So for a very long, in fact, I think for 25-30 minutes into the game, Arsenal were struggling to build.
They were struggling no more.
But Chinchina, they wanted to do it how they would have done
when Partey.
You see, and that was the issue. So it was too easy for PSG. So Arsenal now started rushing things. And once the ball leaves the midfield, PSG win it back, pass it around, suck the life out of them, which was an issue. But Arteta did something stylistically in the second half, which I like. He gave a bit more responsibility. In fact, from the ending of the first half, he gave a bit more responsibility to Miles Lewis-Kelly. You don't have anybody who can pass the ball like Partey, but you have somebody who can carry the ball to the destination, and that is Lewis-Kelly. So we saw Skelly now picking the ball, driving past players, and then sending it into the zone he wanted to be in. Then Odegaard will pick it up. But also,
no more.
Odegaard, he really disturbed us that day.
There were moments where there were spaces behind the PSG team that he could play that ball, but he's
that's what I see. The game we see the team finish.
Like he can, like the spaces there, but it's just the confidence at the minute to play that ball to
Bruno,
just push it.
Bruno, san. Sa passes it.
Quick.
Yeah, but did you?
And you see, for me, that Master Holland, they make no talking matter. If they can't play today, they can't vex me. See, I really loved that stylistic approach. And in the second half, you see, Arsenal were not. I think they were better in the second half.
Yeah.
But in making that stylistic approach, Arteta also did something that I didn't understand. Did you see him shift Saka out wide into the half space? And then all of a sudden, Timber, and then later, what's his name? Ben White was out to hack the touch line. So now when Saka picks the ball,
he's in the crowd. He's in the crowd.
Meanwhile,
and that's not his game, really.
That's not his game. And you see, I understand why you make that shift because of the problem that existed. But you see, Odegaard wasn't doing that work.
He thought
maybe if Saka comes in, he'll do a better job. But straight from halftime, bring in Nwaneri. Now let me tell you, see, if Nwaneri is playing in the position of Odegaard, I'm not asking
or
him,
even if he is playing in the Saka position, and the Saka comes to the Odegaard position.
Can Saka do that though?
No.
See, I prefer Nwaneri. But we are looking at the situation where get Odegaard out of the game
and change the approach. Okay, Nwaneri is more direct. He's better in the half spaces. If he picks the ball, and you see, I think he has a bit more awareness with bodies around him. When he picks the ball surrounded by players, he can maneuver a bit better than Saka. Saka needs to pick the ball in space and then run at you. He's better at that. But if Nwaneri is in the half space and they were putting the passes into him, he's a bit more direct. He can pick it up. He has a bit more spatial awareness. Can deliver the passes. He has a good shooting left foot. He can dribble. He can do not to if Odegaard
I think he gave the ball how many minutes? It wasn't 8 minutes.
Small, like last few minutes. Took the guy off. But that was the issue for me. Because in as much as I admit that Arsenal were at 60%, they didn't play the best of football.
Yeah, they were not.
They were still able to show
that
the weaknesses
in this
that
in the
I can
PSG
see.
team.
And I have been seeing in this PSG team. Now let me tell you what is going to happen on Wednesday.
Banoba wo walk ya.
Oh, quick!
But Wednesday we will talk about.
Banoba wo walk ya.
Wednesday we'll
Party.
No, so after we've done the review,
Party.
we'll do the preview for the
Banoba wo
But the thing he did
walk
there,
So you want to chip it in straight out?
The thing he did there, me, I want
Charlie,
to chip him in.
Banoba wo walk ya. Banoba wo walk ya. Party. Banoba wo walk.
Okay.
Do you
Upon
understand the
Benjamin
meaning of that?
Upon Benjamin from a foot to Cape
Come
Coast.
and carry
quick.
us to the destination party.
We are going.
But they
Look, this is what is going to happen on Wednesday.
somebody's watching for Altani.
Shake,
Shake! Watching from the land of Altani. That be Qatar.
let me cut that.
Yeah, man.
Shake Altani.
Alright, so this one new reading in the house that says I'm at work in Canada and my boss is wondering why I'm laughing. Sicho, say hi to Danny K for me. I'll be dropping in Ghana in June. I have a gift for the three of you. I love you.
Yo, what's the name of the guy? What's the name of the guy?
New reading in the house.
Nudi Odede, Odede, Nudi Odede, Odede, Nudi Odede, Odede, Nudi Odede, Odede.
You say they Canada.
Yeah, say they Canada.
Yeah, we talk for XDM inside.
Oh, great.
Okay.
He said, Charlie, make a holla you for him.
Believe the podcast.
Yeah, he said, make a holla you for him, man.
So,
Charlie.
Nudi, you be big man, oh. You see the
Yeah,
fans,
yeah.
so you for show up.
Set
Nudi Odede, Odede, Nudi Odede, Odede, Nudi Odede.
This one be from said Apia Kubi said the best sports podcast ever. Enjoying live from Cambridge, Canada.
Like, you know, correct. This thing, is sports podcast.
This one says Kwabena Kante says live from Pakistan. Hey, Ghana, we there everywhere. Are you? Yeah, Kwabena they say Ghana.
Pakistan.
Pakistan, Charlie, it's more there.
All
All right, this one says Eric Asari says we don't have lights, but still, Malam Go is giving us light. Coach,
Thank you.
We don't have lights that in your area. Oh. Call ECG for us.
Oh,
Nana Phil says live from Bolgatanga. You guys are superb.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much. And then this one is Chairman Fritz says podcast Mu ECG. You will put control everywhere.
thank you. Thank
Okay,
you.
all right. Okay, this one is from live from Luxembourg. Okay, this one Stepper. Coach in Shudia, MVM. Live from Luxembourg.
Oh, now,
the best podcast.
This one, it be slip on.
Yeah, you're
Wow.
correct.
Quick.
Very, very comfortable and easy to carry around or walk around. So,
On your toes.
Luxembourg. Woo, yeah, in Luxembourg. It's a lovely place. One of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. They've got incredible landscape, but it's incredibly expensive.
Charlie.
Like, people leave Belgium.
Wait, that's Sweden, eh?
No, Luxembourg.
Luxembourg.
Okay. There's a
Luxembourg.
country.
Yeah, Luxembourg. So people leave
The one with Ronaldo is he scored in 5.
5 dentists, no. Like people leave and they pay very well those who work there. So people leave the neighboring European countries,
The
Belgium,
Scandinavian countries.
yeah, Belgium and people leave France. They're trained, they'll come and work there. And then so by 4:35
They go back.
The entire country is almost empty. The population is so small. Very few people live in Luxembourg.
Wow.
But a lot of people come there to work. It's almost like Geneva in Switzerland. Also very expensive.
Yeah, very expensive.
But during the day, people come
lot
in
of
there to
people
work
there.
and then they exit. Like you're gonna buy a watch in Switzerland, of course. And when you get to Switzerland, the top watches, all of them, they are there. Like you can see them at the water. Like the top, if the watch brand is not there, it's not top.
They know rich.
But the same one that you buy maybe in Switzerland for say some 18K, if you go to Italy or if you go to even Belgium, you might even find the same quality maybe at times on the market for 5K.
Wow.
Because that is Switzerland.
Branding.
Yeah, I mean,
Branding.
everybody's rich.
And
It's
the
rich.
chocolates too.
Yeah, like everybody's got
That's
dough.
where
They
they-
pay well, they live
Some
well.
of the African leaders too have been taken out.
So, the Switzerland in Luxembourg, like some of the most expensive places I've ever been.
Steelers.
Too expensive. Like water stuff if I buy for and the vex.
you.
Yeah, too expensive.
They are thieves. They are stealers.
Danny, back to you.
Yeah.
So you want to go to what will happen?
Yeah,
next
I think
Wednesday?
he should go in, then I come back now. Then we go to the
Wednesday.
Barcelona.
Brilliant. All right, let's do that.
What is going to happen is
Wait, I wanted to.
There's an
okay, so
area
you talk about what was happening on Wednesday.
yeah.
But I love something about PSG.
Okay.
Give me some 5 minutes.
Fire away.
Because it's very similar to, and Arsenal should look at that because it's very similar to what also PSG did in that game at Anfield, eventually ending the goal. And they've been doing it, but sometimes they get goals from it will create troubles. It's Dembele's positioning.
Yeah.
And when they played against Liverpool at Anfield, it resulted in a goal. The way he would come short into the middle of the park, and no centre back really wants to come that far.
Yeah. No.
And Dembele takes the ball. There's no pressure on him because PSG deliberately engage all your midfield players to afford him the space.
So between the lines, he's free.
He's free. He takes the ball, he turns. And in the game against Liverpool, send the ball wide. A cross comes in. Konate can defend it well. And then he gets the follow-up. It was very similar to the goal they scored early on against, or the only goal we saw in the game. I'm trying to put it on this board and see if you can see it. Now, when they were building up from the back, they looked like this. They looked like the three from the goal, right? From the goal, they looked this three. 1, 2, 3. PSG's back line. Okay. That is virtually how Arsenal were matching PSG.
They had a 4-3-3.
Yeah, and this would be Vitinha. And I think Odegaard's job was to breathe on Vitinha and stay on him because normally he would drop somewhere here, help in the build-up, but Odegaard was supposed to go to him. Now, Vitinha, knowing that Odegaard was going to do that job, came further. Straight away there's space, yes. Yeah. So now and because of Hakimi's position, so this Martinelli, right? Yeah. Somewhere here. But because of Hakimi's position, there's a problem with Martinelli also not wanting to overcommit. So he's staying here so he can come back and then come and help. Now when you look at Arsenal's two centre backs, at the time the build-up was starting, this is Arsenal's two centre backs. Dembele is somewhere here. No real trouble. The boy is here. But it's a pass that comes to Nuno Mendes or Nuno Mendes. Nuno Mendes. Like I got that pronunciation from FIFA. Yeah, when I'm using Portugal. Fantastic. Obviously for my love, because of my love for Ronaldo. As the ball gets to Nuno Mendes, this run was a problem. Fabian Ruiz. Now, what happened in the middle of the park for Arsenal and of course PSG was that João Neves, Vitinha is here with Odegaard. João Neves, he is pinning down Declan Rice. And then Merino is being pinned down by Fabian Ruiz. Yeah. But as Nuno Mendes gets this ball, Fabian Ruiz starts making this run. Because two things, and Timber obviously can't go anywhere because of who's hugging the line by this point. As soon as the ball gets to Nuno Mendes, Fabian Ruiz starts making a run around Merino. And he has to track him back. Yeah. Again, taking him further back. Timber comes this way. But what Nuno Mendes does is, he's not going to look for this pass. He's not going to look for the run of him. Dembele comes here, into the circle. Into that empty space. Because by this time, Odegaard is here.
They're all engaged.
Declan Rice is engaged. And then Nuno Mendes picks this pass to him. As soon as he picks this pass, he turns. He's able to turn because, again, like I said, no centre-back loves to come here. Yeah. And Arsenal centre-backs don't defend this aggressive. They'll pass you on to you.
They'll pass you on.
They'll pass you on. As soon as he turns, Declan Rice leaves his man and tries to cover this space. Arsenal centre-backs are busy here. Then this movement from Fabian Ruiz takes his man into this space. Dembele, of course, is good on his left, so he cuts the ball back and then he finds Kvaratskhelia here with the ball. But this is where I agree with Coach when he says maybe if Partey is in the game, the goal doesn't happen. As the ball gets to him, Timber wants to engage. Remember that Declan Rice by that time has left his man to come and press him. For a moment, he was with Dembele. For a moment, he was with Dembele. As soon as the ball gets to Kvaratskhelia and he was pushing the ball into the box, Declan Rice left Dembele, and for good reason. For good reason, he left him to come and double up. Yeah. Because when you leave him 1v1 with Timber, he can kill him. He can kill him. So he leaves Dembele to come in, and by this time, Arsenal are a bit deeper. And by this time, there are runs here, and then there are movements here. As soon as Dembele sends the ball right, and he realizes that his man is pushing the ball, and Declan Rice is going to double up here, Dembele takes a very quick turn and looks over his shoulder and sees the goalkeeper's positioning, and sees the position in which he is, and he knows that here around the edge of the box,
that is the goal.
He can find the shot. Yeah. And it was that quick glance that I thought gave him the presence of mind of what he could do if the pass arrived. So as soon as the ball came, one time. So that is credit to Dembele. But quickly, Kvaratskhelia also realizes that Dembele is free. He passes the ball to his man. What could have happened here was, maybe, I don't know for sure, but with the experience of Partey, he probably is not engaging as close as this. but it's engaging the way that cuts.
Cover shadow.
You see,
Cutting the
what
cuts the
Partey
passing
would have
lane.
done was to not to come and engage Timber
Yeah.
for them to engage Kvaratskhelia.
Yeah.
Partey is clearly much aware of that act, the
yeah.
zone.
So he
And
stand somewhere.
He will stand somewhere.
So when you dribble,
And
he can
rather-
come in.
Block the pass.
And rather he would rather have communicated to the other centre back. What's his name?
Kivio.
No,
No,
Saliba.
not
Saliba is here.
Saliba
To go.
play as a defensive line cover to Timber.
To Timber.
So you are shouting at. So Partey will be shouting at. Partey will be shouting at Solanke.
So
He'll be
sort
shouting
of
at
Timber shows him to cut in.
to
Yes.
cut in.
Saliba is there.
Is there.
Shadow waiting
And
for
Partey
him.
marks the zone.
Yeah.
Stay within the zone. That is
or,
what the DMs will do.
or I'm also thinking that even if Rice wants to help, he doesn't have to come as close as he's
That's right. He shouldn't come
So-
as close as
So
to.
if Rice is somewhere here, he's cover shadowing
Rice
him.
tactically shouldn't have even moved his body out of the arc.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He should have come and stood in the arc
say-
and
saying
hand
this-
and hand.
2 seasons ago, the Premier League sat down with Rodri. And he said the
I remember.
the basic thing of a DM.
That's right.
He said every goal is scored from the central point.
Yeah, that's
The
right.
ball eventually comes
Come
to the
there.
central point.
So
So,
that is
his
your
job is not to engage out wide. His job
Is to
stay
protect
and
that
protect
zone.
that central
zone.
point. And that's what they do. So they know that even once it's wide, the guy will by all means score.
He will cut back.
By all means, you
So
cut
maybe
back.
when you said that if Partey played in the game, that goal doesn't happen.
And we
For
saw
me,
that several times against Real Madrid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He was
When
popping
Partey
it.
didn't
Like,
go
he would
to
more
engage,
Yeah.
but he will allow Saliba
Yeah,
or Kivio to play as the defensive line cover to the fullback. Then he marks the so when the ball comes into the zone, then he goes and then he steps in.
yeah.
And for me, look, this is a perfect description of what happened, and you've actually nailed it. So again, it's the lack of awareness. Maybe Declan Rice of late, we saw him at West Ham, where he was deployed as a DM throughout. Then along the line, West Ham started pushing him forward.
Yeah.
So he might have forgotten.
Yeah,
The rudiments
That
of
thing
that
comes
zone.
with experience and a certain level of experience.
You see, to be fair to him, that DM job he was doing at West Ham
Ham.
initially,
Yeah.
it was a stopper.
Yeah, it was a stopper
Yeah,
job.
it was a stopper job. He wasn't
No controller.
He wasn't a
was
controller.
yeah,
So
just
he doesn't.
a hard tackler,
That's why I say
good
he can do a
grades.
decent job. You remember at the start of last season
At the
when
Euros,
he-
even at the
he
Euros,
can
we
do
saw
a
him.
decent job,
Yeah.
but he can't do it to the ability of the
Of the
Parteys and
natural-
rugby. And at this level, Champions League semi-final,
You need
against-
specialists.
You need a specialist.
So what I was trying to say is, whatever happens, PSG have done this throughout the Champions
we
League
saw it
last
against
season.
Liverpool.
Against Liverpool, like we've seen it. It doesn't always turn out to be a goal, but whatever happens, they are good at engaging your midfielders to free Dembele or this guy, Nuno Mendes and Hakimi.
yeah.
Because Nuno Mendes and Hakimi are good at getting into spaces where, again, your laterals won't go there. Like, they'll come into the half space. This guy can be here. And at times, Fabian Ruiz will be the one. Like, Fabian Ruiz will be the one protecting. And then Nuno Mendes
see-
can be here. So, Arsenal, we are expecting, especially at home.
Yes.
I'm just saying, that is one of the things that Arsenal fans and
We'll have to
Arsenal
look
should be
at. But you
expecting.
see, there's
So, now
a
let's talk about the
huge.
game coming.
Just a
Okay.
second.
All right, sure, coach.
There's a huge weakness in PSG when they push their fullbacks or their wingers.
It has that. In
There's
fact,
a
you fire away.
Look,
That's
there's
where
a-
I was getting to.
There's a huge weakness. You see,
Especially
these three guys.
this guy.
This guy's side, Hakimi.
Yeah.
So what Arsenal failed to do actually was to get that player who, after winning the ball,
Can deliver.
can deliver the pass into the space. Because Martinelli, you saw tactical was
He was
not
there,
dropping
yeah.
too deep. And he was always going to fancy himself, in the absence of Hakimi, running at Marquinhos.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and at least this is something that Arteta will have to watch and watch. And once the Ghanaian is coming back, he's got the ability to pick those
Sir,
passes.
please, can I tell you what will happen on Wednesday?
Take it away, boss.
Sir, please. Arsenal will win. And when I'm saying win, in all the metrics, Arsenal's game plan will be spot on. And they'll win in terms of XG. The goals they'll create. Barring any unforeseen VR intervention. Because we know that guy in the back room,
Can be a problem.
he can be a problem. So if there's no funny penalty decision or some red card, if it stays 11v11, Arsenal will beat PSG in terms of XG. It will be down to finishing. If PSG qualify, this guy Donnarumma will be man of the match.
Why are you so confident?
Oh, the thing, we see the match long time ago.
Show us what you've seen.
You guys were saying,
please let's find a way to get Danny's illustration.
Team, you were saying this PSG team, no, it's a different PSG team from the group stages.
I think so. From the league phase, yes.
The only thing that has changed, which is, to be frank, it's a significant change in terms of offensive.
Is the role of Dembele. That's all.
But stylistically, in terms of principles, they say.
But its application is a lot better. The application of the principles and the style. They struggled in the league phase.
To be frank,
but the application is now top.
It's better.
Yeah.
But the antidote remains the same. The ball, no. Who played on the floor? Arsenal versus PSG. Aston Villa versus PSG.
Why didn't Arsenal do that?
We are not going to play it on the.
Why
That's
didn't
why I say
Arsenal do that?
Arteta should have altered the style because you've done it before. That first game at the Emirates, the 2-0 in the group stages, Arsenal bullied.
Yeah, I remember that. PSG couldn't cope with anything.
They couldn't
like there was like boys and men. It was serious. There was that bad.
PSG
we saw
the 35th minute
in that
to
second
when they
leg.
served Rashford. They were bullying. They were not playing the ball on the floor.
No.
You can't play the ball on the floor and outdo them. 5-5, 5-4, 5-3. If you lift the ball small, it's over for them.
Especially those three guys in the middle.
Those three guys in the middle, no, they are the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah, the only guy who's actually has a bit of presence is Fabian Ruiz.
Look,
John Neves and this thing, and Ruiz is not the quickest.
Yes.
Look, with Partey, this be Arsenal in my defense.
Yeah.
With
please let's get close to the illustration so that Danny can see from the cameras.
So Timber, Saliba, Kivio, Marcelli comes into midfield alongside Partey.
Thomas,
in build-up. What it does?
That's Merino starts ahead of Trossard.
He starts. He's in the box.
Because
he's in the box.
The muy idea. At that to strike out.
Only be. Just say Antombia.
The muy the someone.
Just say Antombia.
We who said la picky.
Go by.
Just say Obia no agotono.
This thing is what Arsenal need. Partey. Because of the presence of Partey, the build-up automatically is better. They have somebody who is press resistant. So PSG always commit bodies. We see it all the time. They will commit the bodies. But that weakness they have, this side, Hakimi, they be our
on the right hand side of the defense.
Hakimi is not going to sit back.
No, he's not in his nature.
No, he's not a fullback.
It's not even in his nature.
Only me here.
His manager.
You eat.
But Luis Enrique, I know him. Luis Enrique, me there.
Way back.
I mean, even my guy.
Your guy.
Luis Enrique. By all means, Hakimi will go. That is, if you even look at their build-up, he's supposed to.
He has to go.
He has to go
to get that
to accommodate the back three. So Hakimi will go. But what Partey, the introduction of Partey does, it allows Rice to be in this zone.
Yeah.
And what Rice does is, your friend LCM, left central midfield. He occupies this space.
Yeah, and he can also drive the ball forward.
Oh, alongside Martinelli.
And that
saw
keeps
them
Martinelli
to Real Madrid.
Yes.
And Luis Kelly is confident to move away from Partey to join.
Yeah. And you see, because of that, they don't even need to catch PSG in transition.
No.
This double team between Rice and Martinelli will hack the touchline. So Martinelli automatically is giving.
Draw one of the centre back away.
No, not Marquinhos. I'm saying from Arsenal's build-up. Not
okay,
the
so
Hakimi stays.
This isolation, once Rice has the freedom within this left zone, this guy's defensive awareness
has
always been an issue.
But where does Vitinha or João Neves or Fabian Ruiz? I assume João Neves is the one who normally would play in that space.
You people say you know how to drop your striker into midfield.
Yeah.
Do you know Merino?
Complete. Natural midfielder. But
he's a natural midfielder. So that, and again, Real Madrid, we saw it. Merino dropping into midfield to occupy whoever's job it would have been in the same, basically the same idea that PSG used to beat Arsenal, where you basically lure the defensive midfielder out of position, creating the pocket of space for the attacker to occupy. It's the same idea.
The same idea.
By all means, Vitinha will not leave Merino because Merino was but technically he can pick the ball and turn, and he's intelligent enough
those passes
to arrive.
Yeah.
So you need to have an.
And that's what the danger is when the person's arriving late.
He's always attacking the ball.
Midfield, yeah.
The only person in that back line who can handle him 1-for-1 is Paco.
Yeah.
But Arteta, we are not stupid. We are not going to play.
You
No,
target
he's-
Marquinhos.
he won't go to
We are
Paco.
targeting Marquinhos.
You are targeting Marquinhos.
The whole game, no, we are targeting Marquinhos. What did Liverpool do? They put Darwin Núñez on Marquinhos.
Yes.
I think we've seen that, you know. So Paco, no, he is good, but he will be useless because there will be nobody for
You
him
have to
pick.
bypass him. And if he
And
attempts
if he's
going
not
to
smart
going
and he
to bail
attempts to
out
go,
the space.
that is when, if Arteta listens to my advice and he starts Wanyeri, because if he starts Wanyeri, that's
Daniel
Saka
Iwanere is not starting.
and Wanyeri, then we have to fast and pray for Odegaard. Arsenal fans, we need to start fasting and praying for Odegaard.
Because Odegaard,
Like, it's not that simple for him to drop his captain.
truth
We
be
need
told,
him.
No, he's been
Look,
off.
we need
He's
Odegaard
been
in this
too
game.
off.
And it's got enough quality to switch it up.
Yes, but the thing, like, it's bad though. He can't even pass 5 years. What kind of captain is that? Huh? We need him to turn up.
He's just not taking the risk.
Or if, you see, my own is, you can start him. But if it's not working,
Quickly.
by halftime,
Quickly,
latest by
quickly.
50, 55 minutes, take him off.
Quickly.
Because what it does is that it spreads the threat. Against Real Madrid, yes, Arsenal like to focus on Saka's side. But that Rice Martinelli area, it says, look, it is equally as dangerous if you don't take care. And in terms of when they switch play,
Especially now that Odegaard and Saka's area is not
it's
clicking
not
as
clicking. So it spreads the threat. And I'm saying that if Wanyeri is introduced early, or if Odegaard soaks himself in the River Jordan, and he changes his attitude in 2025, in fact, he just needs to go, like, I need like 2 notches up. Small sense. That's it. It's basically going to spread the threat. And what we'll see is that PSG will struggle defensively and they are going to alter. It's either they will drop their line a bit to accommodate. And once they drop their line, it will allow us now to dominate. Not dominate in terms of the numbers, but the control.
Yeah.
When Arsenal can decide when the game should be chaotic, they decide when they want to pass the ball around, like what they did to Madrid, like what they've been doing in the Champions League this whole season. Perfect game plan. But Hakimi, Marquinhos, that side, no, that's where the goals are going to come from. Aston Villa exposed it. Arsenal did it in the Champions League in the group stages this season. We've seen it.
Yeah.
Secondly, the
Even
plan B-
Liverpool, they just didn't.
It just didn't
take
work.
Yeah.
You know, click. The plan B is because Partey is playing, Merino can also now play his number 9 role.
Yeah, he can
So
engage them.
if push comes to shove and the tiki-taka passing slow build-up is not working, Arsenal can
Take it wide
go.
or go direct.
And when they are going, Merino, Rice can enter because Partey is there. Miles Lewis Kelly is there, comfortable. So Rice can have that boldness to also
to push
enter,
up.
to push up. Martinelli will go. So there are men in the box who can do. We saw the third goal against Madrid. Look at the number of bodies in the box when Merino was hitting that shot. Commit. So as for PSG, I've seen their weaknesses. It's just that I knew the first leg it won't happen. But Partey, you go again.
See,
So you predicting that Arsenal are going to go through?
Luis Enrique, I know I'm going to show you the number.
This guy didn't like Enrique one bit.
I know. You watch.
Coach
you see, the master will be around.
Thomas,
I'm your boss.
obviously.
Quick.
Give the ball to me.
Give the ball
Stand
to
there.
me. Stand there.
Don't force it.
Don't force
Bring it back.
Me, you,
Saka, hold on. Don't go wide
respect
yet.
yourself.
Odegaard, come for
I
it.
decide
Take
where
it.
you
Give it
go.
to me.
Nah, honey.
I decide. where to
Partey,
go.
hey, Saka, are you ready?
Stay there.
Take your
I'm
ball.
your boss. That's your boss. You understand? So look, we are not overblowing or in any way trumpeting Thomas Partey beyond measure. That's not what we are doing here. We saw that first leg. PSG had all their arsenals on display. Arsenal, in my view, was without that player that makes them thick.
Yeah, they have no other player who plays like him.
Like
He's
him.
irreplaceable in the
So Partey now comes back where they have to chase a deficit. I'm very much interested in the mentality of the Arsenal players. I hope, having gone to the Bernabeu to beat Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, what's the name of the PSG stadium? The Parc des Princes. We can change that to Parc du Queen. Oh, I'm telling you, Parc du what? Prince. We can make that Parc du Queen on the day. Because that stadium is not. Look, the Bernabeu was closed though.
They closed the roof.
They closed the roof.
But let's give credit to the PSG fans. They are also some of the most
they
are great. Like
they
were incredible atmosphere.
They were sick.
Brilliant tifos.
But you see, the stadium is open, so some of the noise will
escape
outside.
It's so contained.
That's right. When the stadium was closed, everything stayed there.
What happens here?
That one safe, they were able to work. It's about the mentality about the Arsenal play. And I like the way Arteta spoke after the game. He said it's half time, it's 50-50, it's still open. We did it at Madrid. There's no reason why we can't go there and do it.
Arteta.
That is how you should speak.
They can't give space. Make the fans bring them a boot, then since under 3 minutes,
You
the
understand?
fans throw them a boots away from the stadium.
So you see, I am so much. Daniel has dealt with the tactical side of the game.
You think it's going to go down to
look, mental toughness
and the approach from the
approach.
Yeah.
What they need to do is not to say because we are down.
We start.
No, you don't.
I agree absolutely completely.
Just
it's
make sure
it's one goal.
You stay in the game for as long as possible. If it stay 0-0 after 70 minutes, 75,
You can take
if
some.
Arsenal get booted out of the tournament after 75 minutes, I will clap for them. After all, if it ends 0-0, they are stay out.
Yeah.
So, what is there to protect? If you are already exiting, whether you like it or not, you need to risk. And by risking, two things: it either pays off, or you pay the price for it. So at that stage, I would give them every benefit of the doubt. Every benefit of the doubt. Why such a thing may happen to them. But if they go and they concede like they conceded on Wednesday or last week Tuesday, look, I'm going to be pissed off. So control the game and take the steam. PSG are so much aware. Per their DNA, they want to impose themselves.
Yeah.
But that is where DK spoke about the fact that it's not all the time you play it on the turf. What is this PSG's team's weakness? They don't fancy the physical battle. They don't. They've never fancied it. So even in midfield, that Portuguese small boy and the other Vitinha, they're two
Portuguese boys.
They are kiddies.
5'5" and 5'3".
5'5" and 5'3". So if it's Partey and Declan Rice, before Rices decide to join the attack, let them feel a bit of the sensation in their spines. In their spines.
Sensation.
You understand? When you meet them in the tackle, they should enter them.
Quick.
Not the one that will give you yellow card.
No.
Sensational. Now there's a present. See, when they know there's a present, somebody is present there.
They will behave
themselves.
Right.
Look, exploit the spaces that will be vacated by those two wing backs. Saka. If Arsenal needs to win this, if they will have to win this, then Saka in Cranton will have to put out one of his best performances.
Saka.
No two.
What a player.
Look, he have to put out one of his best performances because with the coming in of the Ghanaian, he's going to see a bit more of the ball. Because the Ghanaian has got the ability, the technique, the know-how, and the intelligence.
The Parc des Queen.
The Parc des Queen.
The Parc des Queen is bigger.
It's bigger.
There's more space.
There's more space.
Oh, certainly.
Saka.
What is he?
You understand? You have to do that.
Saka. What a player.
But you see, having said this, one thing that Arsenal also need to look at is the fact that they need to defend properly too.
Yeah.
Because look, it is the quality of the defending.
I didn't really enjoy Saliba and Kiwior the last time. I'm getting the high praises when they played against
Against
Sorry,
Roma.
Krodo update. Dembele go play the game. I need to send somebody to France.
They've been quiet.
I need to send
They've been
somebody.
quiet.
They've been very quiet on
They need to
on
inject.
Dembele's injury.
Somebody should
Yes.
inject his
Yes.
They've been very quiet.
So, look, no, you go worry.
Carlo Ramos play Arsenal 5-0.
No, like go play Bakola and do it then.
You understand?
Bakola,
So look,
Bakola was sound.
No, but that would mean that Due can't play the middle, down the middle. The Bakola.
Due.
Banwe
We'll talk about that boy soon.
Is it-
Ina!
Walk and roll. So,
Banwe
Achu had an assignment. He's done with the assignment. He joins us on the pod. We've been having fun with several people people are watching from Pakistan, Iraq. People are watching from all over the world.
It'll be holiday for Pakistan too.
No. People are working and they are watching like people are working.
Banwe
So for you, Arsenal are going to go through. If they do the things you and
Is
Danny
it-
have said,
If they score the first goal,
that's another one too.
they'll go through. I think if they score the first goal, they'll go
go
through. If they restore parity, and before the game kickstarts all over again at 1-1, I think they go through.
Okay, so Danny has said Arsenal go through. I think though,
Walanule eje banu inke mon fiamo ni kuma yobo banu eko walenule pate banu. You understand that one? Do you understand?
Coach, how will I understand?
You see,
Tell us.
it's like come and drink some.
This guy, like, if we do by the fireside.
By the fireside, no, Charlie. Do you understand
You see?
that one? Oh, Charlie.
Come and drink some.
Come and drink it.
If you are thirsty, the water of life on Wednesday
Streams of living water.
is Thomas Partey.
Partey.
Banwe walanue le eje banu inke mon fiamo ni kuma yobo walanule party banu.
I think though, that PSG will go.
Don't
through.
think, Masa. Don't
Why
think.
you talk you?
No, he can't.
think.
That's
You shouldn't
him.
think anything,
That's him.
Masa. This guy, he lies some things. Oh. This guy.
Let him think.
I
now.
know him. Oh.
That you thought.
No. I said I didn't think. Don't think.
Kasa me breathe.
Kasa.
So what Kasa me breathe? No. I think that PSG will go through
That's right.
because Aston Villa's and I agree with you. The way Aston Villa played, PSG struggled to deal with it, but that was at the Villa Park, so it's quite different. I don't think Arsenal will go to the Emirates, to the Parc des Princes, and exert themselves in that way. I think Arsenal, and we've said it, they can't start the game like we are losing, so we have to win. And that is where my fear is. And again, I'm also afraid that if they start the game like they want to win, they can collapse. But the fact that they won't start the game that they want to win could very much simply play into the hands of PSG because they will completely control that game, right? I think PSG in France will control the game. Thomas is back, it's important for Arsenal. But PSG will know how to kill tempos of the game in France. And more so, we saw the problem that a player like Kevin Stella was causing to Timber. He kept drawing fouls from Timber, like continuously drawing fouls from him. And you mentioned it. The pitch at Parc des Princes looks bigger. I've not checked the dimension, but when I've seen it on TV, it looks bigger. That is more space. And that is where PSG play their best football at times because normally the distance between and when coach you know this better when teams are defending they like to keep a certain gap between maybe the right back and the center back close to him and their center back. For them it's not how far the winger is, it's how compact the middle is. And he spoke about how Rodri describes the goal normally comes from the middle, so the distance from the full back to go and close down the winger will look like will be bigger. But when you give that if you allow the PSG wingers to smell the
sweet
grass,
aroma,
to smell that grass, double up on them. They will dribble. They will draw. Like they are that good. And at the moment they are playing that way.
As for Due, somebody will give him a knock one of these days.
I mean, since mentor is Neymar. If you can say why Neymar the headset and day is 32.
He can't even run without doing catch.
Charlie, if you do something,
simple pass. If you do something,
so
He enjoying body.
yeah, and
knock him,
again,
you learn sense.
and again, and he spoke about if Rice would do what do we think he would do? Go into that left CM role, which works very well for Arsenal. And Lewis Kelly would have to venture across to join Thomas Partey. Again, I think again it feeds into what PSG can do on the offense, because then Dembele has two options. Dembele can drop to occupy Lewis Kelly, or Dembele can shift to combine with whoever is playing on that side, which stretches the other defender.
Also,
So
on
I don't
that
think-
point that you just made, just to add.
Yeah, please go on.
We haven't seen Arsenal in this current iteration that has Lewis Kelly making those runs into the middle of the pitch. We haven't seen them have to deal with any winger or threat on the right side in the mode of Dembele. So
Yeah.
we're not sure how they would.
Or in this case,
Dembele,
Due or
Akana
Barcola.
incrodo.
Yeah.
Dembele has been incrododized.
So-
Hey, I saw.
No,
He's been incrododized.
No, yeah,
He didn't train yesterday.
and if I think they're wrapping him in a cotton wool.
Yeah.
I think so because, and if that happens, if Arsenal play the way we think they will play, I think it plays into PSG's style also a little bit.
No, I think Arsenal have to remind themselves that they are an English team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And therefore,
Back to
bring back
basics.
Yeah.
the basic English game.
yeah.
I think they'll win.
So it's two things.
When Man United beat them, you remember when we had Lukaku and it won't get about no bam.
Yeah,
Hoarding.
And Arsenal, Man United, remember that game were always winning the second ball. When it went to Lukaku and
Tomine!
Marcel, then Tomine will run to go and pick the second ball. They give it to Rashford. They play long shot. Then before we pull back, then Lukaku bam.
yeah.
They go ahead
and so I think that if Arsenal play the way we think they will play, it actually makes PSG style also looks very good. So it ultimately come down to whose style will be more efficient, taking chances. And the only other reason why I think PSG will go through is the form of Donnarumma. Some of the saves this guy's been pulling off more recently is crazy. Like he's in the form of it. He's not Euro 2001, 2021
yeah.
form. You know,
Yeah, the
and
one that
won the
won the-
Euros. So I think I think PSG will go through. I think the way they play and the way Arsenal plays, especially the second half as we expected, I feel say some way for Arteta. Actually, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, you came at the right time.
Yeah.
We looked at that Arsenal PSG game. So yeah,
He's missed that one. He should go to the Barcelona one. That's what he
Okay,
wants
so-
to talk
But I was
about.
here when you were talking about it.
No, we had finished. We've looked at
Yeah.
the
Me,
game.
I'm not done. Thank
So-
you. But me, I'm not done.
so
Arteta. Oh my coach.
So
Okay.
the tie is lost.
the tie is lost.
It's lost.
Okay, actually, so take some minutes, a couple of them, and
Arsenal
and tell
lost
us why.
the tie
Yeah.
in the opening 20 minutes. Because I've been trying to wrap my head around that performance, and it doesn't make sense to me. And it was not because of Thomas Partey. The goal they conceded, if Partey is on that pitch, perhaps Dembele doesn't have that space.
Of course.
Or Partey occupies that zone. That is not in that, because that is his job definition. That is what Partey does. But the overall performance of Arsenal in that opening 20 minutes, and they never really controlled PSG from there on. Yes, they grew back into the game, but PSG was still finding hot spots, right, in different areas of the pitch. What happened and for me, the reason I'm taking a lot from that was that everything PSG did is everything they've done since November. That sort of starts.
Actually, give me a second. So, we have a lovely listener. I don't know where he's listening from, but he says that this is the most unprofessional analysis I've heard in my entire life. How can you do one-sided analysis without even talking about Arsenal weak points, but only PSG? PSG's own very funny. Okay, so that is from our good listener who's listening. Not sure. Please let us know where you're
But I'm
listening
not
from.
sure he's been.
We appreciate.
He was listening.
I'm not sure you listened from the start, but that's fine. We like
It's fine.
the reason I'm reading this one is we've read all their praises, but we like to hear the criticisms as well.
What's the person's name?
So the person says that it's the most
No, the
unprofessional.
person's name.
Oh, James Robinson Dankwa. Yeah, I'm sure he's a very good listener. And, And some of our followers are going back and forth with him there. That you should go and listen to his professional. I mean, everybody.
No, but at the end of the
drop their
day,
opinions. So
we have spoken about the absence of Thomas Partey and the problem it created in the Arsenal setup.
and what he solves,
and
look,
what he solves and all that.
And to be fair,
and of course, Arsenal inability not to wake up. I criticize Arteta for not doing the right things when the team conceded the goal. Instead of him turning to the supporters to do that, he should have rather calmed down the nerves of his players.
no, coach, we've gone through that.
We've gone through
we don't
that.
have to.
So you've not been listening from the.
No, but even aside that, I just think it's opinions.
Yeah, it's
right?
opinions.
It's
So
opinions.
he's free to
and
have
we
that.
love all of every opinion on the podcast. We chat. You do the listening. We don't judge. You judge.
We listen.
We listen. We don't judge. So keep your thoughts. We read your comments. We don't judge. I mean, I barely even reply on it. So please keep your thoughts.
It is what it is. Look,
it is what it is.
I was going through the numbers for that. Arsenal's passing accuracy for that opening half
Yeah.
was 64.9%. It is the lowest of any of the semi-finalists all season from the
Right.
first half.
Charlie, friends
Now-
did the comment section.
What did they do for
What
that?
did they do for them?
He has time on his hands today.
You don't see the comments. He said today I'm joining the comment section
Yeah,
to tackle
basically,
the people who like
today I'm
tackling
joining the
us.
comment section to tackle people who likes tackling us. First, you fool. You find flames
He has time on his hands today.
Fool, man.
And you know that 64.9% is the lowest of any of the semi-finalists in this season's competition. Even for Arsenal, Arsenal's average passing accuracy in the first half is 83.
That was bad, Charlie.
That has
Far
nothing
below.
to do with Thomas Partey. So yes, Partey would have stopped that goal.
Can it?
But in terms
hang
of
on that point.
But Partey would have
Can it
got
not
it
also
to do with Thomas
It's almost
Partey.
like we are saying Real Madrid this season don't keep the ball enough. They don't pass the ball around enough. Everybody's running 100 miles.
Partey in
an
the
hour.
Arsenal team passes
If
the
Partey
ball,
has the ball, can he
sees
not
the ball
circulate it
more than
better,
any other player.
Take his team.
so Partey gives the team control.
Yes.
But he doesn't determine the passing accuracy. He can determine his. Do you get what the point I'm making?
No, but a controller
With him, they keep the ball better. So it
Which
means
means the
there will
passes
be-
are better.
Thank you.
Because when he passes, he actually gives you a pass that leads you to
You
the
remember?
next one.
You remember what I said? Respect yourself. I'm your boss.
See, I get that.
Don't go here. This is
see-
where you need to be.
you see-
All those things helps them to keep the ball.
You see,
Right.
I get that.
Achu, please go on.
I'm saying that very often when Arsenal, and I'll take you back to last season when Partey wasn't always playing, right? The team still found a way to play.
Jorginho.
Now, when they, I'm coming. When they build up and they get into the final third, and I'm coming to the issue of why I wanted Odegaard to sit on the bench. For I said that the last time.
Yeah,
That
that's why I said that.
that's why
We've
I
addressed
said I
that.
can't- So for me, the fact that, and you see, all the issues were known. Arteta knew
Yeah.
what he had going into the game. He knew how PSG sets up, how they've started. And I said it here that PSG will not go into that game and they will and give Arsenal control of the game. They will dominate Arsenal
They want
with or without Partey. And for me, the fact that they were playing at home and still could not exert that level of control in that game, for me, it was problematic. It was not a question of nerves. It was purely tactical.
So then it was because their controller was not there. So it's about Partey.
There is that. I've admitted that. But I'm
Okay.
also saying that the issue goes beyond him,
I understand.
right? Because Arsenal are the team that are used to, and we speak so much about their rest defense. What we saw on Tuesday was Arsenal failing to deal with PSG's press. And the other side of it, I was looking at the numbers, because in the first half, it looked very much like Arsenal were either lazy or they were not running enough. But actually, they ran a lot. I checked the numbers and they ran 6 kilometers more than PSG, except much of it was headless running. So when PSG had the ball and they were knocking the ball into the right zones, they would chase it, but they were struggling to get possession, to wrestle back control of the
And
game.
when they got the ball, there was a quick turnover.
Yes.
And that was where
the
then
controller.
That's the
So
controller.
For me,
But you know my position on the Partey issue in the game against Real Madrid, especially the second game, where I said even though he offers something that nobody offers in the team, he wasn't the best player. But I feel like, and that I still stand by that. But I feel like in this very game, if we talk about the control, the lack of it,
Yeah.
I think if in the end it falls on, it's like Man City this season, they've lacked control and flow and direction when they have the ball. I think again it matters with Rodri.
I get that. For
Yeah.
me, I'm just saying that because if we are talking passing accuracy in the final third or in the opponent's half, it is set with sustaining attacks. it sits with building momentum. It sits with your style of attacking, not just in how you, because
So it wasn't everything that was a Partey problem.
No, so the control bit is opponent has it. You want to play at your own pace. That makes sense. But when you move into the second, third phase of the attack, that is no longer with your controller.
It has to do
Yes,
with
that has to do with inventiveness, the cohesiveness that your players have amongst themselves. You are taking risks and all of that. But when there is about a 20% drop off in passing accuracy, something massively has gone off. And for me, watching that game, I was happy with the results and the outcome for one reason. A lot of people seem to have assumed that the same PSG, or they are very reluctant to accept that this is a very different PSG from the one Arsenal beat.
No, it's very clear.
It's very different team.
Yeah.
Even the one that Arsenal beat, Dembele was suspended by the coach. So that was a match.
He was dropped.
He was dropped.
And it was since that game that Dembele...
Lee Kangin had to start. And I think, look, they've shown the
Hey,
maturity.
that guy, he dey take kung fu dribble.
He dey
force.
That's it, they can't laugh.
No.
Yeah.
See, that guy,
The force.
if he dey dribble, if he do the martial arts, I swear, I don't joke. I swear, hey, everybody go watch out.
The defender
If they can't dribble, coach, look, he say, if they do good, they can't fight. If they can't dribble,
he's good. It's just unfortunate that the wingers are just better. The other options.
Yeah.
Look, he's still a really good player. And for me, that second half and the way PSG handled it, they've matured.
Top notch.
They've answered every question about that Aston Villa performance because they stayed in the game. Yes, you will talk about the saves Donnarumma made, but by the same token, PSG could have won that game 3-0 or 4.
2-3-0.
Raya made a brilliant save of Desiree Doué.
Are we going to pretend as if Donnarumma didn't make?
But I've mentioned...
No, he said that.
Yes, no, you are saying 2-3. Why are you removing that?
I said Donnarumma made 2 brilliant saves, right? And I think of those, the really impressive one was the second one.
The Trossard one.
Because Martinelli, he opened up his body for him to see that he's bending into that side end. But even still, that chance, Mbappe scores near post or gives it elevation.
We saw Mbappe. He got the same chance. He wasted it.
But 9 out of 10 chances, you know he'll
Don't mention them. They've been butchered out too.
Look, the way they
are going trophy.
The way they controlled the second half of that game, rode out the Arsenal storm and had their own chances. Look, somebody go handle like you allow.
Very, very foolish boy.
Yeah.
He said, this man I'm scrap. Can you move on and talk about my darling Chelsea? My darling club Chelsea. We didn't ask you to be late. You guys should be professional. Because of thank you, today we are not talking about Chelsea.
Thank you very much.
So actually, yes.
You should apologize in the comment section.
So in conclusion, I have every confidence that those 2 misses by Charlie Boy needs to be serious.
Bakola.
Oh, but it was offside.
He wouldn't know that.
He wouldn't know that.
He was offside.
No,
he didn't know that.
On the replay, he was
scored. He would have been offside.
But he didn't know that.
That's the thing. The attack concluded.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that even if he scored,
Yeah, but what are you saying?
You score.
He didn't know he was offside.
You the time tells the guy, son. You think Bakola? What is it in the bench?
But you know, so Bakola, make a tell you something. Bakola, if you make a believable, as we they play game.
Bakola!
Bakola!
And then the second one, Gonzalo Ramos. Abba.
Yeah.
Hey, Agolu.
Abba. Charlie.
I think he didn't. He almost didn't believe that.
I like
the
Rasmus Højlund like that. Agolu. 1-on-1 keeper.
Hey, no more play pass and make a mess.
Agolu.
Make it no break.
Finish.
We see the thing is that
we know
Holland doesn't get to that chance.
You see,
you go make that run.
You won't make that
Oh,
run.
bogus. You know about what I talk. See, okay, let
Ramos,
relax.
relax.
Make her ask.
But-
No, don't be saying the best. Don't be saying the best. No, relax. No. I know. Ramos, I know. Make her. I want to ask the viewers and the listeners 2 simple questions before you go. 2 quick ones. First off, do you prefer a striker in your team who can make the runs? Like when he is there, you know they see. In fact, simple this thing is Rasmus Højlund. You are saying he wouldn't have made the run, or a Morata like Nicolas Jackson, who is always getting into the right positions but can't score. Which one is worse?
I like the Morata like Nicolas Jackson because
It can be a
there is hope.
Yes.
There's hope for what?
There's
Those
hope
people
that
they
you
don't
can-
change. Oh, those people they don't change.
So you have hope that Rasmus will start running.
No, I don't have hope. What I'm saying is that if you're a striker,
I want the Morata
you
because
get 1-on-1.
even his run, can stretch the team, the opponent. Hey,
Holland, Agolu.
Make I tell you something about Holland.
No, wait.
I know somebody will deviate.
The second question is that chance you saw Gonzalo Ramos. No?
Yes.
Gano, we Jimmy Ana. That's the question. No. Gano, we Jimmy Ana. I want Ago. Can you play Agolu?
Oh, but I hit by nice.
Happy rough. Now
He finished. He turned around to look as if he is surprised.
Yeah,
I was surprised that
you don't offside. You see, you missed some chance. You made the flag go there. You took
Offside,
so there.
yeah,
Offside. Now let's talk about that game then. It's a crazy game.
Yeah.
At the Montjuic on the hills of Barcelona, Hansi Flick's side and Simone Inzaghi's side played out a 3-3 draw. Inter took a 2-goal lead. Barcelona came back. Inter went ahead again. Barcelona pulled it back again, and it was an exciting game. One of the best Champions League semi-final games you would see anywhere, which also leaves that game very much alive. Actually, I start with you. 3-3. What a game that was, and what do you see coming up in that second leg? We've got 20 minutes to do this one, so I'm sharing 5 minutes for everybody.
Yeah, wicked.
And then
made us talk. When coach was saying that we finished with that game, you made us spend another 30 minutes.
Very unfair on
Ina. Very unfair.
One of the texters said nobody said it should be late.
It was
The parable of the bridesmaids.
this one I'm taking it from your time.
The
you
five-
tell the parable.
No, the 5 way there in this thing.
Yeah.
You miss the time we go. Why do you let us come back right now? 20. I'm saying it's not fair to the Barcelona fans. They are there in the comment section. They are not happy. 20 minutes is not enough. It's
Actually,
not fair.
please.
Lamine Yamin.
Child, that boy be so weird.
Yes, see, take your end products merchants and your finishers and wine. Me, I prefer
Baller.
the ballers.
The baller.
Agba baller. See, nobody. See, there is nobody currently operating at that kid's level. Give him the Ballon d'Or already.
Wait, what?
Give him the Ballon d'Or already. There's no conversation to be had. Because when the chips were down, Barca knew their best route to finding goals in that game was through the 17-year-old. When the chips were down, in the Champions League semi-final, the apex, the summit of European football, till this point, they knew. And there was no question about it. When Hansi Flick set up his team and when the game started, there were no, why is the team not playing through the middle or playing through the left? Decision making, 1v1, dribbling ability, body feints, spatial interpretation, combination with teammates, confidence to take on opponents, shooting ability, match winning ability, everything, 99.9%. Look, for as long as I've watched football, I've never seen a 15-year-old and now a 17-year-old as good as Lamine Yamal. The maturity is... Think of all of your favorites and all of your greats. How many of them were deciding European Championship finals at 17? How many of them were bossing Champions League semi-finals at 17? At 17, this kid has got 100 appearances for Barcelona, and that's the fear I have.
Child abuse.
That, yes, they may...
If I take my son to the farm 100 times when he's
You
15
have
years,
questions... They'll
tell me I'm abusing him, even though I take him to school still.
Yes.
But the boy is playing football because of that. He can't go to
yesterday
class
we were
like
told,
that.
we're
It's
told
not
that
child
he had to
abuse.
take a pain suppressing injection.
Yeah.
Those things are not good.
Child abuse. It's only child abuse when it doesn't fetch money.
So,
But there
is a different
it
nomenclature.
is great opportunity for youngsters believing in the youth when it fetches money.
Uniska, there is a different nomenclature for
Interesting.
your crimes.
Yeah.
When you have money, the dictionary is different. So I just hope that people around him will protect him. Because at 17, it doesn't make sense. And it is not right that he's played 100 games at Barcelona. Yes, the numbers look good. Yesterday in commentary position, I checked his numbers with Messi's. By Messi's first 100 games...
He had not even played 50. Messi's first 100
games.
Which came at the age of what?
I think 19 or... No, it was after 19 or something.
Yeah, it was after 19.
Yeah.
Because at the age of 17, Messi had played less than 20 games.
He had 54 goal contributions Lamine has 56 by that time, but it's not just the numbers.
So Lamine will be better
The
than
difference
Messi.
for me at this age.
Oh, he's just
No,
saying
no,
that.
At this age.
When is your
Yeah.
me at
No,
this
it's
age?
okay.
At the age
It's
of
okay.
17.
So when Messi made 100 appearances, he had contributed.
Let me even bring
that's
it home.
cool.
At 17.
Rashford said they do
there is
some calculation, they say
nobody
they
in the
will
modern
not be.
era.
It's cool.
At 17, there is nobody in the modern era who's exhibiting the maturity levels, and his overall performance was as good as Lamine Yamal. Nobody. No, absolutely nobody. There's the only one who comes close would even him. The maturity levels we're seeing that took him to Ballon d'Or was after 18. Ronaldo, Nazario Lima.
Was Mbappe at 17 not?
He was a
better?
finisher.
No. I thought it was a proper winger at Monaco. Like he was devastating on the
But
line at the
his-
time. Was
yes,
he not better in terms of?
So that's the point. You said at times.
No. At the time, I said at the time he was
Right.
like when Falcao was playing down the middle.
Yeah.
Mbappe was tearing people, dribbling people
He
against
was.
you, and he was scoring.
He was.
Yeah.
But not at this rate. Because
Actually,
Bro,
sure.
One
That-
they play for Barca, one they play for Monaco.
it's,
That's why.
no, it's not.
One they
See,
play for Barca, one they
What
play
I've
that
seen
also
Lamar,
matters. That also
what I've
counts.
seen
HFA
Lamar,
5 minutes about Shay. He's
What I've
taking
seen-
decided to talk
But
about
you're talking about
Yami
Lamine Yamal for your whole time.
yeah, so I'm concluding.
Okay.
Inter Milan. Hats off to them. Yes, I was disappointed with the way they managed the 2-0 advantage because I felt one, there was no need to fight fire with fire once Barca picked up and had momentum. And also the long balls over the top didn't make sense. Perhaps it was why Inzaghi was screaming at Çalhanoğlu that he should calm it down. And in the second half, when they decided to be patient, we saw it. And it was very uncharacteristic of them. For a team that is famed for their patience and their humility when going through that cycle of turmoil, it was strange to see them attempt to go toe-to-toe with Barca after Lamine's first goal for them. So it was strange. But in the second half, they showed why people respect them so much. Because they have not scored in 3 consecutive games. But against Barca, they produced 3 goals. And perhaps, but for better decision-making, could have scored a couple more. Or could have created a couple more in that situation. Denzel Dumfries. I was just looking at the numbers, and he's having an all-timer season for a fullback.
Yeah.
He now has double digits
Yeah.
in all competitions.
Yeah.
That is Cafu, peak Dani Alves levels, right? As far as influence and match-winning ability is concerned for a fullback. And I think he doesn't get the praise that he deserves. And
Right.
I was very happy for him that he had that run. Marcos Thuram as well. He hasn't trained in 2 weeks. 1 training session, they gave him injections to go and play, but did very well from the little that he was fed with. I have no doubts in my mind that the Pau Kubasi incident, I felt so bad for him because if he's fit, Kubasi doesn't catch him. He doesn't take the ball wide.
Yeah.
The 1v1 that he took wide and then. But it was also brilliant defending from
I should be wrapping up.
Pau Kubasi. But I think that this would be about the best
So
game.
who goes through?
I think Inter still.
Great. Coach.
When you watched the game yesterday, I mean, as a coach, to be honest with you, I was not happy with what I saw regarding the scoreline. And it's the semi-finals. 3-3 Athens, both Simeone and Hansen Flick could have done better. Because what you don't want to do is to leave a semi-finals this open, not respecting the fact that it is the final that beckons. And for that matter, you have to be a bit cautious in your approach. Like Achu rightly said, there were moments in that game where Inter shouldn't have gone toe-to-toe. Barcelona, we all knew that they would want to dominate the possession. Look, Inter Milan had a brilliant start. They scored within the first, 2-3 minutes?
No, under 1 minute they were up.
They were up.
From passing the ball.
So the moment you do that,
40 seconds.
the moment you do that, come back to the game plan and then calm everybody down. Because the quality in front of you was such that these guys would definitely want to respond immediately. They were the home team. Even away, they will want to tell you that, hey, okay, fire for fire. Let's go at it and let's see who is better. Then Inter then got the second goal. Then I felt that, you all know I support Barcelona. I said they'll go through. And I said that, wow. 2-0 to an Italian opposition. Truth be told, I didn't see Barcelona coming back immediately. But that is where you can speak for Lamine Yamal. Nobody saw that goal coming. It wasn't a chance. He picked it up. I think he outmuscled somebody.
He outmuscled
it was
somebody
Thuram.
and then received the ball again.
Thuram then.
And when he picked up the ball, he was going into the crowd.
Yeah.
And they all knew he's left-footed. So they were forcing him onto, or they were more or less preventing him from going onto his left foot. Then he had to come onto his right foot before back onto the left foot. And then he picked the spot. But look at even where the crowd with which the ball traveled through into the back of the net. So nobody saw that coming. Again, Inzaghi, 2-1. Immediately, you do things to disrupt the flow of the game. Like you rightly said. Surprisingly, okay, 2-1, let's go. So in my view, that was bad coaching for one of the very established, well-known, best coaches in the game in the modern era.
Coach, question.
Go ahead.
We saw on the sidelines, Inzaghi kept, it was like a banter between him and Çalhanoğlu. You're asking him to keep it short. He kept, and the long balls were not finding it.
You tell him.
Do you take him off or?
I tell him. Come and sit down, bloody fool. What is that? Come and sit down.
Bloody what?
Bloody fool. Granting, what will you have done?
I'll give him
Bloody fool, come and sit down. Because you see, it was more or less giving unnecessary turnovers and inviting the guys to keep coming. To look, in football, you can defend, you can repel, you can push, but the one who chases the ball burns a lot more energy than the one in charge of the ball. Okay? So once they started doing that, I was asking myself, come on, man, what are these guys doing? Calm down. You are leading 2-1 away from home. Take the 2-1 into recess. And then compel them or go into recess. Let your coach harmonize the situation with you. And then throw the challenge. Now come and break us down. Because it was always that clear that on the transition, Inter was very dangerous. You remember last week, I said something here about Hansen Flick. That this is the game where I felt that he needs to find a balance between coming high up, high line, and then at times dropping a bit deep. He never did any of that. And I was asking myself, physically, Inter were the better team. Look, these are men. There were times you could clearly see that they were playing against boys in terms of power, strength, physique, and everything. That is why even when Barcelona decided to press the ball, they could hit a long ball to Turan. He's jumping with who? Kubasi. He's jumping with Kubasi. That is a no contest. Kubasi will prefer the ball played to Turan on the turf. So anytime Inter went long, Turan could head the ball to Lotario or chase the ball into the onrush, and Inter did it so beautifully that whenever they go long, they needed somebody closer to the target man so that he can direct the ball. And in Barcelona, they were that high up the pitch. Look at the fourth goal that Mkhitaryan scored. Yeah. It was just by what? Skin of the teeth.
Toe, like
just the toe.
So unfair.
Just the toe. That was what ruled the goal offside. And that, I look at Hansi. Look, I was watching a game with some Barcelona. So for the very first time, they were complaining about the high line. And I said,
that's what has served them so well.
No, but pragmatism is the way to go. Just drop it slightly to get them to have that extra thought whether to pass it or not to. But when it became so obvious that anytime they went long and they controlled the ball, the next pass, Yanko, Osimo, everybody go forward. You don't do that. So like I said, Barcelona packed them back 2-2. They went, they came back, they got that. And let me just comment. One thing that was very clear, apart from the first goal, the other two Inter goals were all from set pieces. And I think that is going to be a major factor.
That's number 17.
Last week, if you remember on the pod, I said that, and I got that video and I posted it. I said on the pod that Barca needed to be careful about intercept.
Yes, I remember very well that you said that.
You actually did also add to the fact that
and
all of those balls are coming from outswingers.
And then
the whip it's in the way that the goalkeeper can't come in.
No, but I think surprisingly, when they do that, nobody blocked the goalkeeper off.
But the goalkeeper can't come in.
No, he can't come.
Beyond the reach of the keeper.
I'm coming.
And that's what Szczesny tried to do for the second.
He didn't.
Even for the second goal.
For the second, for the
too far away from the goalkeeper.
Yes, it is too far away from the goalkeeper. But because nobody is blocking him,
He should come that far.
If he's coming that
No,
far,
but coach,
he has the
miss it.
advantage.
The ball is not hanging; it's moving at a pace.
Yes, so that's
So
what
you
I'm
can't
saying.
reach it
He
because the
can-
ball is only dipping, especially the Dumfries goal. I thought again people didn't give credit to the Dumfries.
The second one.
Fucking hell, that's a good question.
The
second one.
I think the second one.
People don't
The
give
one he
credit
headed.
to the dip of the ball. It came on the outside, but it dipped this way. So Chesney started moving as though I can grab it.
And then
Is
he
it-
sees that
He sees that the flight
you
of
look
the
at
ball
it,
is against him. It's almost going to the far post.
Watch his body position.
Yeah.
Normally, for corner kicks from this way, goalkeeper, you don't face this way.
you face.
You turn and face the corner kick.
Yeah.
If you do this, you are likely to miss the trajectory of the ball. It's basic. So Chesney's position was this, waiting to see the ball before he goes. That's why he misjudged the flight of the ball. But if he has face to turn the ball, to face to see the ball, he gets that trajectory correct all day. And he's not coming to grapple. He's just coming because he has
Punch
that
it
extra
away.
advantage. Look, in the second leg, he has to do a lot of that. And it was shocking to me that Inter were not putting somebody on him
No, they
to
don't.
block him. And it is something that they really don't do.
Yeah.
So, if you look at the Barcelona team, who are the headers of the ball?
Kubasi,
Ku-
Inigo Martinez,
Kubasi,
Kunde.
Orao,
Yeah,
and then
Arao, yeah.
if Lewandowski is there, he's also
Yeah,
he
he's
also
also-
drops
yeah.
to come and defend. They will have
Frankie De Jong at times really
yeah,
wins
they
the
will have to do better
All right.
on the set. If they don't do better,
Coach, who wins
then-
the game though?
Look,
Let's
I
get
think for
that.
the fact that their away goal
Rule doesn't count.
doesn't, I still fancy Barcelona to go through.
Danny,
I also fancy Barca because, to be frank, I said it on commentary duty. Barcelona always score. So even at 2-0 down, like I knew it was just a matter of time. They would by all means settle. They will play their football and they will create chances. And Barca always score. But Inter don't always score, and they don't always have to score more than one goal to win a game. That's how good their defense has been this season. But in the past few games, it's not really looking like that. And I think that's where I'm personally looking at it from. Respect to Inter, they're a brilliant team.
Yeah, brilliant team.
But I
well
feel
coached
if
team.
this was the Inter from last month,
Let's say
going
2 months
back
ago,
to the start of the season,
they see this
at
through.
2-0, it's done. But what I saw yesterday was the Inter that has been showing in the past few weeks.
yeah.
And that is a troubled Inter Milan. To be frank, yes, in as much as Barcelona always create chances, I think Inter's management of the game also aided Barcelona.
Yeah, man.
Now, I was coming to sing Lamine Yamal's praises, but he's done it. Super. And what I love about it is, we know the guy is good, but in moments like this, when you are shocked, the stadium was quiet. Like they were shocked.
Yeah.
And then he started demanding the ball. He will drop deep and go and pick it and come. That is responsibility at that age. Like if you guys are afraid, fine. And
Me, I
he gave
wouldn't.
them the spark. And once he started playing, everybody picked up from his what he was
You
doing.
see celebration after the goal.
But
Calm.
relax,
Calm.
we have this. But you see, Inzaghi, he shocked me. At the Euros,
Mr. Fleck service shocked me.
no, Flick shocked me, but Flick is Flick. But Inzaghi shocked me because of the two, he's the more pragmatic.
Yes, he's the
He's
more,
the one you know will go back,
will
look
go
at
back,
tapes,
it and
look
then
at.
little
As for
details.
Flick, plan A is plan A, is a better plan. Plan B is a better plan A. Plan C is plan A. No, we know it. It's
on
supposed,
academy.
never. You will stick to it. At the Euros, when Italy faced Spain, we saw something between Lamine and Di Marco.
Yeah.
In fact, that day Di Marco was trending.
Chichinis.
If you isolate the guy with
Obechino.
him, he will claim. That guy,
Obechino.
he don't go sit up.
Obechino.
And you see, Italy played that similar back three with Di Marco as a wing back. And Spain isolated him. In fact, that day he was double. No, if he doesn't work here, we'll go to the other side. Nico Williams. But the difference was because Balde didn't play, Barcelona couldn't use Rafinha's side
At
as
all.
much. So you know that Barcelona will be focused down on Lamin's side.
You're right.
What Inzaghi did in the second half to double team
And when
him,
Kunde also got hurt,
got hit, that also took something
it was
out.
obviously Lamy all day.
Yes.
So come on, man.
So what he did in the second half, I think, is what he should have done from the beginning.
Carlos Augusto should have started.
No, not Carlos
All
Augusto. The switch. When Lamine comes onto his
left foot.
left foot inside, the responsibility is passed over, similar to what Mourinho did with Messi in 2010.
Yes.
Zanetti is taking him. Take him on his right foot. Once he cuts in, pass it on to Cambiaso. And then you retreat. So they are not dragging you out of position and creating spaces in the pockets. And that's also, if you notice, Lamine wasn't as explosive in the second half as in the first half.
Yeah, I was going to come to the... Okay.
Yeah, I think Barcelona, Inter Milan handled him better. And I feel because we had already seen something happen just last summer, we have seen this matchup before. And you know that DiMarco is good.
But there's always going to be
going to be a problem. Inzaghi also, in how he started the game in terms of their press, the idea made sense, but the deployment for me was an issue. Letting DiMarco fire and going to Koundé direct, leaving that gap for Acerbi to now, it was basically now shifting them into a back four, which allowed Barcelona to get back into the game. That was the issue. That's what caused the Lamine Yamal goal. And then he tried to switch it. Now restricted DiMarco's movement. So now he was isolated. It was still a backfight, but Lamine was still getting behind him. My point is, it shocked me because the guy he's smarter than that. I don't think the scenario
You mean Inzaghi?
Yes. I don't think the scenario should have played out before he reacted
to it.
For me, thinking before the game, because I had seen what had happened at the Euros, I thought that Inter would be better suited to deal with that problem. And I repeat it again, especially because the threat on the other side was nullified because of Balde. Now, Barcelona.
Can I ask you a question on that before? Is it not the case of you've planned for it? So I think for his first attempt, we saw that there were bodies around him. There were 3 enough. Is it not the case of the application or the execution of the strategy as opposed to the lack of what you are saying? Because each time you realize that minimum, right through the first half, minimum he had 2 to contend with. First, Mkhitaryan before him.
You see, it's not... The idea in principle, I'm saying the idea to press Koundé makes sense from an offensive point of view. But what it does to your defensive setup is what I didn't like. Because when certain players are asked to, so Mkhitaryan, Çalhanoğlu in transition, having to shift to that side and defend against Lamine Yamal, you are now freeing up space
in the middle
for Pedri and co. So Barcelona, how do I put it? In the first 2, in fact, like 5-10 minutes, it was working. But once Barca figured it out, that switch was made. In transition, Barca played to the middle, from the middle to Lamine.
After the second goal.
After the second goal. And now Lamine has the space and the skill to do what he wants to do. Again, Inzaghi should have been able to deal with that. But Barca, the reason why I think they'll win the second leg, I read that Balde will play.
Yeah, he'll be back. It's likely
Lewandowski too is likely to be back. He may not start, but he can come in as an impact sub. The Inter I've seen in the last month defensively don't look as sound. I thought, in fact, the Bayern Munich game, remember I said I thought it was a one-off, but that was the start of their shaky form.
And remember I also said that if Bayern had been a bit clinical, they would have knocked them out.
I thought it was a bit like it was a one-off. They will revert to type. But it doesn't look like in the next 6 days it's going to go like that. So with Balde coming back, now they have 2 sides to contend with. And the way Barcelona play, again, whether it's home, it's away, it's neutral ground, they will create chances. So from an Inter Milan point of view, Inter will have to be a bit more expansive, as in more offense oriented, trying to get a bit more goals, because 1 goal is not going to be enough in this game.
No.
2 goals may not be enough, so you have to try and create some chances.
Right.
But that is something I don't think they can over the space of 90 minutes. If it travels to extra time, I think Barcelona have the extra to get past them.
Okay.
Now, what Hansi Flick, quick one to Hansi Flick about the high line, the high line thing. You see, the Inter front two are not as pacey.
They're not.
And when I say that they are not as pacey, like Lautaro, if you put him there, he has pace. But compared to Kubasi
will catch him all day.
If he drops that line a yard or two,
They can see.
Inter are relying on the pace of Dimarco
And Barella.
Dumfries
The Dumfries.
to beat that high line. So the pace comes from there. So the middle guys win it off. If it's a long ball,
Then they give
is
it.
winning it off. If they are hitting it diagonal, they are going to Dumfries, like what we saw with the first goal. It went to Dumfries,
Dumfries.
beats the high line with his pace. Thuram and Lautaro are late arrivals.
They are late arrivals.
So if you drop it deep, it's even an offensive advantage. If you drop it a yard or two, you are luring. I'm talking on second leg. You are luring Dumfries deeper into your, because he's watching the line. In terms of when Inter are being offensive, he's watching the line. In the first leg, it's so high, he's closer to his defense. So even if the ball doesn't come, retreating is easier.
Yeah.
It's closer. But if Barca drop it a couple yards back, which will still ideally be high, you are luring Dumfries
Away from his defensive responsibility.
and Bogabalde is there
Or didn't
in the second leg. So that's why I think if and again, just like Luis Enrique, who is my guy from way back.
Flex is
Hansi
Flex.
Flick. You remember the time Bayern faced Barcelona?
Yeah.
You the guy say I call Flick.
Yeah,
Why
call
I tell
him,
him
yeah,
say
say,
today
yeah.
Messi must
Quick.
pay.
Yeah.
So he gave me 8-2 quick.
Quick.
So as for Flick and idea way back.
So you go call him.
I go call him,
Who's
tell
going
him say
through?
I beg you.
Make you drop
Just
the
drop
team
it small.
Maybe two yards.
I think Barcelona will beat Inter.
Right, interested. Let us know what you think in the comment section as well. I think, and in 2 minutes, to be fair, I think that even though Inter could have done some things to prevent the Barca goals, and of course, as for Barca, I said that they had to defend well.
But
on
Charlie,
set pieces, but-
we didn't, just before you continue and more or less end it, that Barca third goal, you saw the set piece,
Rafinha, yeah, the corner, the
They
dummy,
tried it in the first half.
Yeah.
the dummy,
Yeah.
and the strike.
and then the hit,
The strike.
the hit.
Another player is
that
blazing
guy
that
technical.
ball. Look, another player
Rafinha,
is blazing
But
that
he's
ball.
dropped another very good ball at the end of the game, and then so
Yeah,
Zuma
had to
did.
take it up.
He's got a clean hit. So I'm saying that, yeah, I agree with what all of you have said about Lamine Yamal, and he was brilliant and everything. I think that first goal is special, is brilliant. Like, it's one of those goals that
You can't defend against.
you're waiting for someone to take the responsibility because you are close yet
They're not
far.
close enough.
Like the Euro semi-final against France.
Yeah.
It's not any, you can't really blame
You
him.
can't really blame anybody because he carries the ball, he's weaving through. And when you've got and that is why I hate modern football. And I've always said football has fallen off. What Lamine Yamal did will take us back to some 20 years ago when wingers and attackers will carry the ball. So he takes the ball. Inter are looking good at the time he took the ball. But it's just the sheer ability and confidence of the lad to weave through, body checks here and there. And then as soon as the ball left his boots, you just knew it was
There's
a
only
goal.
one destination.
And you spoke about the isolating Dimarco and Lamine Yamal, who killed him all day. But the second Lamine Yamal attempt after the first goal came right after the first goal. It was so quick. I'm not sure even if Inzaghi made any change, it would have settled before that. But to be fair, after that Lamine Yamal second incident, he barely caused them problems in and around the box. Most of the problems now were further away from the box because he shut that bar line for him. He shut that half space of Lamine Yamal. So he had to then start dropping deeper and he did affect the game, to be fair, when he dropped that deep. But it wasn't in the box where he caused them the problems he caused in the first minute. And the reason I feel sorry for Inzaghi is because the two other goals he conceded are not necessarily Barca-like goals.
Yeah.
So those are not scenarios you necessarily have maybe
Legislated.
planned for.
No.
But that is how smart Barca were, especially the second goal.
I think the
think
second
the Ferran
goal
goal was a Barca
The Ferran
goal.
goal was a Barca goal.
So in
because
terms of-
they pop good and waited for the movement. Look, pass, pam.
Agreed. The reason I say it's not a Barca goal necessarily is, as for the passes, Inter were happy to have Barca pass in front of them. They were very happy. Nobody was engaged. Nobody was applying the pressure on the ball. When Pedro was going to cross the ball, nobody was applying the pressure on the ball. What Inter wouldn't have been expecting was that when the ball is floated into the box, it is that perfect. and the Pedri ball doesn't get the credit it deserves. The ball wasn't flattened in for anybody to compete with. It was a pass to Rafinha's head. Yeah. Rafinha didn't even have to climb above everybody. It wasn't a cross.
But again, look at the movement of Fernan Torres. As at the time
yes,
the pass
the
was
ball is
made,
going.
he was not even in the box.
But
going.
to be fair,
That is Rafinha.
to be fair, that is
Awareness.
You see,
No,
to be fair,
as long as the
that is
ball
a
gets to
mistake.
Rafinha, it's different.
Tichu,
I'm saying,
to be fair, that's
Yeah.
a mistake on Bisek and Acerbi.
How?
no, I think
You
it's
can't have-
Bisek and Dumfries more than Acerbi. Acerbi
Fair
is this
enough.
way.
Fair.
Yeah.
Because the pass was brilliant. So
Yes.
marking the Rafinha bit will be difficult. But the two centre backs, you can't have a situation where someone gets a free run like that.
No,
right
you
through
cannot
the
No,
block
middle.
for the Ferran Torres
Someone has to
issue-
go with him.
No, for the Ferran Torres issue,
Yeah.
I don't blame the two centre back because I'm thinking one of those midfielders should. What the run is making,
Maybe,
it's-
but someone
it's
has
later.
to.
Someone has
to go with him.
Someone has to. But the reason why I think it's difficult is in football terms, someone has to. When Barca were passing the ball sweet and cute, Ferran's body posture was like, because the ball is not coming, I am
going to
dropping
the-
to go and play some.
some.
And so the Inter defenders were happy to allow him go. Leave the zone.
So,
but
in fact,
the
he
moment
showed
was
up.
dropped,
He showed up for the ball.
The moment
And
he
then
was
Pedri
coming, the
ignored him.
ball went
So
to
he just
Rafinha.
turned.
Then Rafinha's presence. The reason why this go for me, Lamine Yamal's goal is, but for a team to orchestrate
No,
the
this
second goal
this
together.
more of a team goal.
Yeah, it was too good. I think it beats plenty teams, especially when you are not looking to play the ball more and you're happy to defend, because the perfection of the Pedri's ball,
pass and the cushion
the presence of mind of Rafinha
That's it.
to cushion the ball into the pattern, and Ferran Torres
Assist.
like
Assist.
for coming shots and then coming back,
And then
realizing the ball is over your head.
Similar
recycling.
to last season, Vinicius and Cruz.
Finishers and cruise.
That's it.
Exactly.
Bucket.
Okay.
Go there.
Come,
Go there.
bring the defense. Yes. So
Bring
I
it
think.
and go.
So I feel sorry for Inzaghi because, and I agree. Bisek maybe should be looking over his shoulder. But see the
look,
quality of the ball.
These
from
things
Pedri.
are done in
It's-
microseconds.
Seconds. So it comes down to the quality of the balls.
Yeah, man.
Because the quality of the ball from Pedri, there was no it was to his, unless you are standing close to the attacker.
That's where you can engage.
That's where you can disturb the attacker. But it was so credit to Pedri, credit to Ferran Torres for what he did. It was like, I'm coming short. Oh, but the boy is going, so let me come.
Let
on.
me quickly recycle.
And then Rafinha's presence of mind to just head the ball into his path, brilliant. But yeah, I think Barca go into the second leg as favourites in Italy. They do, because Inter have looked tired and jaded.
Yeah, man.
In that second leg against Bayern, we saw them, they were cramping. Even in yesterday's game, to be fair, some players were cramping and everything. And they lost against Bologna, Mussolini's last minute goal.
Roma.
They lost against Roma.
Who did they
Milan.
play this weekend?
They lost against Milan.
That was Bologna.
No,
that was
that's
Roma. Roma. They lost against Roma.
No, who are they playing before?
They are playing against. Again, that matters because the title chase is still on, right? And so I think that Barcelona come into this tie for me as favourites, but Inter will play against Verona at home. I think it's a
And
kind
Barca
of
is
fixture.
playing who?
Barca as well are playing. Give me a second. Let me look at
I
this.
think they are playing on Sunday.
Barcelona are playing on Sunday. Yeah, probably because Barca are playing Real Valladolid, right? So they are manageable fixtures for these two teams.
Yeah.
Away from home could be tough, but you know,
Saturday
it's
evening.
Barcelona. Saturday evening, yeah, I think they would have played because Barca will play on Tuesday.
Yeah.
They'll play on
Saturday
Tuesday. They played, yeah. So for me, the game is still very open, but I think I'll lean towards Barca. Danny mentioned they score, but the reason why I think Hansi Flick cannot drop the line a little bit is if he does, it drops the front line. The reason why Hansi Flick's line is high is the distance between defense and attack. Always tight and compact.
So that
So
is
when they catch you in that cage,
So what they need to do, what they need to do in the second leg, if he's going to keep it that high,
Yeah.
then they should win the second ball,
yeah.
which was something they didn't
do well in the
That
because-
second ball they should win it.
No, but you see,
And you see, for me,
and
it
they are not
was-
favourites in winning the
Yeah,
second.
yeah,
the
true.
issue.
That's it.
So but I think
No,
you
but
won't
see,
drop the
of
line.
2 games. If there was one game where Barca had a better chance of winning those balls, it is this one. The guy Thuram, he hasn't trained for 2 weeks. Inter were literally playing 10 against 11. Physically, he's not in the condition.
Thuram wins the first ball.
But yeah, but
Thuram
somebody
always win the
second
first
but
ball.
yeah, so
Whoever
somebody has
picks
to
up
get
the second
closer.
ball, that's the issue.
I
And,
was
see,
saying
and I
that-
enjoyed Mkhitaryan's game, to be fair, because he did a lot of picking of those second balls. I mean, it wasn't fancy on the eye, but when it came to picking those second balls and always following up on the long ball,
I think
he was there to
De Jong and Pedri will have to be
do a lot.
a bit more.
I think they asked for the high line there. It is very necessary for Barca because if it drops it 2 yards, 3 yards, and the attackers stay where they are normally starting from, there is space.
He has to
But
look at
Barca
Valdez.
is able to operate when the cage. You see, the high line is not high line KK.
Of course.
You will see the space, but nobody ding because there's pressure on you to pick your head up and play that pass. You saw Bastoni, I'm coming. You saw Bastoni try to switch some Bobby. That's not no because to credit the whole about to be ball.
That be after at 2-1 or say 2-0.
Yes.
Then why they pray?
Pressure.
Why they pray?
Pressure, killer, pressure. Barca, we are fucking.
Send the ball back to Soma.
Yeah, I thought he would have
Send
gone
it there.
back.
Come
Yeah.
back. Go like this.
But that is the thing about Barca. It's so tempting because you're not too sure if you have that space again. So when the line is high,
You want to go.
because they have dominated the ball and now you. What do you know what to talk about? They say, you want to force it. But so I think the line was to be
That
high.
was why
So-
I was saying that this was unlike Inter, like that first half performance.
Yeah.
The Inter, like Daniel said, a month ago, they don't rush it.
So they are not there. They've left.
Physically, no, they are not. They don't have that.
Yeah, so
that-
we are
that
saying
right
the same
condition.
thing that currently the form. Look, I think they are a bit more concerned too about the Serie A. To be
No, there is
sincere.
that. There is that. The constitutionality they've got their mind. Anyway, guys, this is where we leave. I'll take quick predictions from the guys on the Europa League games coming out tonight. Manchester United are playing against Bilbao. Inaki Williamson, his brother, Ghanaian. What's his name? Nico. No, Inaki Ghanaian. Nico. Yeah, Nico. Coach, who wins? Just prediction.
Atletico are favorite to win.
Danny,
The business will happen next week.
who wins today?
Athletic, but the Bilbao should take it.
He ends in a draw.
Yes, in the draw. Man United against Spanish clubs. You know the answer. Man United are losing tonight.
Oh, say. Oh, say.
Anyway, guys, so we have
You
to
also
wrap.
said that we beat.
Anyway, there's Hassan Kotoko as well. Predictions. The try to chase one. Achu Hassan Kotoko who's winning. Zito will win. Coach will win.
I don't trust our league, so I don't talk about
You don't
it.
talk about it. Okay.
When they get serious, we'll start talking about it.
Anyway, guys, so that is how we wrap up our live broadcast today. Thank you very much. We didn't even announce it, but you guys are wonderful for tuning in.
We had
and sharing
close
your
to
comment.
700 people watching.
Yeah,
live.
and there's something I realized today. Like the audience are engaging themselves in the comments.
Yeah, that's good.
That's beautiful.
good.
That's beautiful.
No, the comments you read, no.
Yeah.
He spark the people.
Yeah, guys,
No,
Charlie,
but
guys,
it's
it's
necessary.
it's very necessary. You're part of the show.
Yeah.
You're part of the show. So thanks to you so much. We'll be coming your way again when the semis are done. Let us know who you think is going to win to get to the final. We did our maps here. Our final maps here. We'll get that video. We'll post it in the course of the week. Let's engage you with your thoughts. We spoke about who will win.
Who will go
We'll
semi-final.
go to the semi-final. We'll go to the final. Yeah. So we'll do that. Guys, thank you very much, Coach.
Charlie,
You scored it.
always a pleasure.
Daddy K, you scored it. Achu, you scored it.
Oh, Arteta, I beg you.
All right, guys, it's a wrap. Thank you. Remember, subscribe, put on the bell button, and then share with your friends anytime we post. Drop your comments, and thank you very much.
Meet the paleo.
Sexy.
Thomas Partey. Partey atwa to. To over. Sexy.